Roll Tide, everybody. Roll Tide, roll Tide, roll Tide. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Time for the post game. 41-34 is going to be your final epic battle in Tuscaloosa. And here we are to talk about it here on the show. Welcome to Cover Crimson, and thank all of you guys for hanging out. Still just this game. I mean, it's like a heavyweight fight. And it was a lot of fun. But Alabama wins the game. We're going to get into that. We'll talk a lot about how this thing went down. I want to hear from you guys. I know that you're ready to go. I know, Bob. Holy shit, man. I mean, give DeBoer his signature win. Bama ran him off the field in the first half and then got a little too conservative. And let Georgia back in the game. But we know something right now. Ryan Williams is the deal, man. Ryan Williams is the deal. The real deal, Holyfield. Unbelievable. I mean, just to sit here and think about how this thing went down and to think that Alabama would blow that 30-0 lead and then Ryan Williams would make the play. That's one of the best plays I've ever seen. I mean, that's like Tyrone Prothro making the catch over his head. I mean, just unbelievable. Georgia's a good team. Alabama's a good team. I think for DeBoer and the staff, you realize that you can't turn it off. You can't turn it off. You gotta finish. You gotta finish, but they did finish. And we're going to talk about all that right here. Guess we're not there yet. Let me put that down for a second. But Milrose, 16 rushes, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns so far. 27-33, 374 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and an INT on a ball that was really deflected. Carson Beck. All right, it's final now. Carson Beck. 27 of 50, 439, 3 touchdowns. And again, boom, there it is. So we're going to have Clint Lamb come on. We'll take your guys' calls. We'll do obviously the comments. But as the hat says, roll motherfucking Tide. Take it. It got a little too close. But, man, what a win for Alabama. What a win for Coach DeBoer. We're going to hear from Coach DeBoer on the show, play his press conference. Obviously, we talked to you guys. I think Jim Dunaway is going to swing on here from the next round. Clint Lamb's at the stadium. He's going to jump on. And just crazy. Just crazy. Shouldn't have taken the foot off the gas. I'm sick. I'm telling you guys right now, if I read another Georgia Bulldog comment in the comments, bark, bark, bark. You're 1-6, Kirby, against Alabama. I mean, I get it. They've been some really interesting games. You're a great coach, not taking anything away from you. Best defensive coordinator maybe Alabama's ever had. But all your streaks come to an end when you play Alabama. And you got lucky that you didn't have to play Alabama in the playoff a couple years ago, because you would have suffered the same fate. But I'm going to give Georgia a little credit. They didn't look like that turtle on their back. They fought back in this thing and made it a one hell of a game. So that was a good one. But T-Rob, all that money on T-Rob, you didn't get Caleb Downs to transfer, and you just got run over by Alabama. Roll Tide to you, my friend. Luke, Bama owns Georgia. That's a fact. That is a fact. And I mean, look, Alabama's not about the moral victories. Georgia, get on a plane, go back home, think about it. Hey, we could have, we should have, we had the lead, but you lost. David, Ice, man, ice, baby. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I'm just still sitting here going, man, I can't even believe this. Cat pull, roll damn tide right back at you. But the story is Hollywood, man. I mean, this guy supposed to be in high school and making plays. Hey, if you guys are hanging out with us on the on my channel, the Bama Tailgate channel, make sure that you get that you subscribe to Cover Crimson, because this is a Cover Crimson show, but we're throwing it out there so that you guys don't miss the post game today, because I know there's a lot of you that are used to watching it there. But this is where the show is going to be. Cover Crimson, covercrimson.com, brought to you by mybookie.ag. Use the promo code NEXTROUND to double your initial deposit. Phone lines are open right now. Right there from Naples, roll tide right back at you. Blake, you say sloppy. Yeah, it was. It's college football, man. I mean, it's hard to get a college football game for a team to play, two halves as dominant as Alabama was in the first half. I thought the officiating was the officiating. I didn't really benefit one side or the other. A couple things that could have went our way. A couple things that probably could have went their way. But Brody Turtle, man, you're right. The freshman. How about Brown with the pick? How about Hollywood with all the moves? And Bama now 4-0, and Georgia 3-1. And I mean, we may see these guys again. Who knows? But I'll tell you right now, this is. I mean, you just got to sit here and just take it all in. All right, let me go to the phone lines. I'm going to bring you guys on as we kind of look at stats, but this is what the post-game show is all about. Let's jump in on, let's get this thing going. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Nick, it's Ice Man.
Ice, baby. Ice. What a game, man.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I can breathe now. Holy cow. You know what I said a couple weeks ago? It said Ryan Williams for Heisman. You know what? I'm doubling down on it. My God, that touchdown pass, that catch, I don't even have words for it. That was amazing. And that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, dude. Everything the guy was doing was amazing. But that last touchdown, that I was thinking coming in, I'm like, okay, this he's done so well, but this will be the game where Malachi Starks and the Georgia defense and Kirby, and they're not going to just let this guy make plays on them. They tried. The bottom line is that you can't stop this guy, man. He doesn't even know how to run routes right yet. Like he hasn't perfected the art. He's just the best. He's just amazing at what he does. He's going to only get better.
You are absolutely right. And I mean, this is just, and we always say, oh, he's 17 years old, but when you really think about it, like, holy cow, he's only going to get better from here. And how do you cover that? You can't coach to stop some of the catches that he made. I mean, the other one, was it a 50, 52, 53-yard catch that he made where he just bobbles it in the air and then loses the ball for a second, turns around and just catches it.
Who would have thought that he would have topped that catch?
To defend that.
Right. And who would have thought he would have topped that? 6 catches, 177 yards, the most electrifying touchdown of the season. I mean, that's a Daniel Moore print. That's a Daniel Moore print, man. I mean, like Daniel Moore, I just saw him last week. He was like, well, I'm going to be watching this game. Guess what? You got your print now. The Ryan Williams saved the day.
Hey, Daniel.
It looked like.
Daniel, go ahead.
It looked like a circus act or something.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I'm just saying, Daniel, you know what to do. Get us that print. I mean, I would absolutely buy that. That is. My goodness. I can't think of a receiver in the past few years that would have made that kind of catch.
Right.
We've had some good receivers. I mean, Jermaine Burton, he made that beautiful 4th and 31 catch because we opted out the other guy, right? I mean, Kobe Prince has been great for the time that we've had him. But man, Ryan Williams is just such a difference maker. And kudos to Milrow. You know, I know he had that one interception, but I don't want to say that was entirely his fault. I mean, it was a little bit of a bad pass, but you know, when the ball hits your hands, you know, you got to make the catch.
Got to catch it.
So overall, he just played so efficient, and it was really good. Got a little worried. I got to say, you know, I'm going to pick one bad thing to kind of bring up, and then I'll let the next caller come up. Fourth downs. You know, we saw a glimpse of it against Wisconsin where they kind of got a fourth down on us, and now we're seeing it tonight. This defense cannot stop anybody. They couldn't stop Molasses in December on fourth down, and it is something that I hope that we get cleaned up going on. I'm going to go and hang up here and let the next guy come up. All right?
Thanks, Ice. Always great to hear from you, man. Roll Tide, brother. All right, well, let me talk about a couple things. I think that, first, Dr. Strange, the Bear, the Goat, DeBoer. Roll Tide, man. Yeah, DeBoer. Getting it done. I heard McAfee saying that on game day. Love McAfee. Thank you for the super chat and Roll Tide right back at you. And we're doing the Bama chapped Georgia's cheeks. Well, is this going to be another one of those times where Georgia, like their fans have been talking on the message board, and you guys get on the message board. If you're not on Cover Crimson, covercrimson.com, be a member. You get this shirt right now for the annual membership where you can try it for $1 and be part of that. And that's great because the Georgia fans aren't on there. But on this YouTube channel, they were talking what we used to refer to when I was a kid as a gang of shit. Like, I'm so sick of hearing these guys. Now, I respect their program, and I think they're good. They're good. But Alabama's your daddy. Alabama's your daddy, Kirby. I mean, was it Saban? No, it's Alabama. You're not Alabama. You can take T-Rob. You can try to steal Caleb Downs, throw a bunch of money at him. You guys can do whatever you want, but for some reason, you can't beat us. Everybody on the team's got to get hurt for you guys to win. All right, let's go back to the phones again as we talk about this. Who's this and where you calling from?
My man, Nate Dogg from Kentucky.
Nate. Hey, Nate. First off, how you guys doing? Did you get any of that storm?
Dude, we got hit hard.
You doing all right?
Yeah, got hit harder with it, man. Yeah, things are good, man, though. Everything other than that, just got hit pretty good with it, but
well,
shit, man.
I'm glad you're well. Look,
enjoyed the hell out of some games today.
Well, look, Nate, and I'm gonna throw this at you, man. I mean, you've heard these Georgia fans. The biggest, we would call it barking because that's what they do, but they talk so much shit and they lose every damn time. I mean, like you got like, to me, Georgia is the kings of the moral victories against Alabama, and Alabama is the kings of beating Georgia. You tell me, though. You tell me.
Shit, man. Nah, man, you hit the nail on the head, dude. Like, these guys, well, first off, I hate Tennessee. Bunch of, well, I'm gonna watch my language. Yet. But, yeah, I mean, just seriously, man, like, Georgia. And I saw this thing earlier talking about how Georgia had overcome Alabama. It's like, dude, have y'all not seen what y'all's record is against us overall, number one, and number two, over the last, 10 games? Like, we own you, dude. We're a daddy. We are daddy, and y'all are like the little stepchild that nobody gives a shit about.
I'm with you. It was a fun game. And, hey, Nate, it would have been interesting, right, if we would have just beaten them up like we did in the first half and ran them off the field. But I love, like, that they got back in it and had the lead just to have their heart ripped out a second time. I enjoy that. Like Indiana Jones. I like reaching right into their chest, grabbing their heart, and just.
My dude, Mick, listen, what's funny is I love exactly where you're going with that. My wife probably doesn't. My boys don't, because I was losing my living mind and I had to go upstairs to watch it. But luckily, my TV upstairs was the TV downstairs. So when we intercept that ball in the end zone, I come running like a bat out of hell down the stairs, losing my mind. And it all ended well here in the house tonight.
Hey, I loved it, man. I loved it.
Love it, man. Hey, listen, Mick, man, I love you, buddy. Keep up the good work. Roll damn Tide, brother.
Roll Tide, Nate, in Kentucky. Let's go back to the phone lines. Jim Dunaway is going to jump on with us here in a second. But let's go back to the phone lines. Who is this, and where might you be calling from tonight on the Cover Crimson post-game show after an Alabama 41-34 win over Georgia?
What's up with you, Nick, man? This is Jay from Florence. You can hear I'm hoarse right now.
Hey, Jamie, look, man, you have a lot to be thankful for, and not having a voice is just part of the process, man.
Man, this was a classic right here, Mick.
I loved it.
Yeah. Kirby looked great, man. All respect to Georgia, man. Them boys, they really, man, he got a lot of fight in him, man. Kirby is a great coach, man, but the boy showed up and he sold out for us today.
I got nothing but respect for Georgia. I did before the game. I mean, they do it the old Alabama way. I mean, like, they're kind of, you can't argue with playing. They do it the right way. You play Auburn and they're always good for a cheap shot here or something dirty there. Georgia's not that way, man. They're going to come at you. They're going to do it the way that they're supposed to do it. They're going to fight you to the end. And I got nothing but, hey, man, hats off to those guys.
Nero locked up the Heisman tonight, right?
I love them. I feel like the play calling got pretty conservative with the lead. I love Milroe. I love his ability to get into the end zone. We weren't quite as good third downs today as we've been, but I think I don't know if he locked it up, but I'll tell you what, he's one of the guys that everybody's going to be talking about now. And I mean, look, Beck didn't hurt himself either, although he threw 3 interceptions. How about Ryan Williams, though?
Ooh, Hollywood put on the show for us, man.
Man, I loved it.
Yeah, man, but I don't want to hold it up. You call Mick, man. Roll Tide, great win. What a way to welcome us to the DeBoer era, guys.
Hey.
This was amazing. Hey. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Save the pipes, man. Save the pipes. And thank you for calling in. Always great to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Roll Tide. Hey, let's you guys hold on, and let me bring on Jim Dunaway, our friend next round. What's up, Jim? Are you there?
I am, man. Don't make anybody hold on for me. I'll sit here all night and wait. I'm enjoying the callers here.
All right, let's go back to the phone then. Jim, you just hang right there with me.
Okay.
And I'm going right back to the phone line again. Who is this, and where might you be calling from?
Hey, Nick, it's Stan from L.A., Lower Alabama. How's it going?
Hey, down in my neck of the woods, man. How you doing? Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby. A tell of two halves. First time we're dog stomping in the second half. Where did the offense go? But hey, the defense wins championships. We were mouth-to-mouth resuscitation over here, but boy, we brought it back from the dead like Lazarus. Hey, we're good to go, man. It's a W. We'll take it.
Look, I mean, when you look at these matchups, man, and you know that these guys are coming to town, and you get a 30-point lead, it's, as a coach, you're trying to dial it back because you don't want to make a mistake to give the game away. And Georgia made some plays, man. Carson Beck kept underthrowing all those balls, and it worked. I mean, those guys were coming back to the ball, making some great catches. Alabama's secondary, you know what? They made the plays when they had to, but I'll give Georgia some credit. But, man, our guy Ryan Williams, LA's finest. I mean, this guy's amazing.
Oh, Hollywood. He earns the moniker Hollywood after those plays that he was making. It was a fantastic play where he does a pirouette, dodges 2 dudes, and he takes it to the house. And, I called you a first time a long time ago with my dad. My dad's here right now. His name is Terry, and he was the greatest Alabama fan there is. He's been way back since Bear Bryant in 1975. So I'm telling you what, we had a father and son victory dance tonight that was just a throwdown. We would prefer it to have been 48-0, but we'll take the heartbreak or the the Heartburn Hotel right now and grab some Pepto-Bismol and probably see if we can't get some rest and take them to the house for the rest of the season here. But Mick, love you, buddy. I'm on top of Crimson with you guys. You're the best talk show there is out there. You and Jake are and Sexy Elmo. I tell you what, y'all busted my spleens about 6 or 7 times. Y'all just keep it coming because nothing like a good beer, a good cigar, and some good talk with you guys.
Hey, roll tide, brother. Thank you, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Sometimes, we have a little bit too much fun from time to time, like the tailgate show yesterday. But I'll tell you what, let's listen to Coach DeBoer, guys. You hold on the line. I'm going to get to you. We're going to put Coach DeBoer on, and we're going to break this thing down. But we need to hear what he has to say after the win, and we're going to keep on getting your phone calls. So just hang with us. Give you guys a little more volume. And I'm excited. I can't wait to hear what he has to say.
Hey, everyone, we're joined by head coach Kalen DeBoer. We'll have Coach make his opening statement, and we'll take questions. You can handle that, please.
Yeah, you bet. Heck of a game. Lost my voice a little bit there. Obviously, a lot happening there all game long. So a lot of energy that was put out there by coaches and players, and proud of the way we played. It took 4 quarters. And obviously, there's some times where they made a run there, and the second half in particular. But just proud of the way our guys kept fighting, kept playing. I think we continue to learn every single play and grow, and you see that at the end with ZB's interception. Guys saw it a couple times, them throwing the ball up in the air and really just laying it up there, maybe even sometimes underthrowing it, and just in great position. That one certainly looked different with how he was playing it. There's reasons for that, but certainly how he was playing it, and in a position where he had as good a chance to make a play on the ball as anyone, and did it. These guys are fun to coach every single day because they're just wanting to get better, and highlighted Ryan, obviously, with the big play he had in the touchdown. 2 number 2s out there, 2 freshmen. It was fun celebrating those guys in the locker room. Our team, loves the way that they work every day. But tip the cap to Georgia. Just they're a heck of a football team. We pushed each other to the very end. So proud. Again, can't say how proud I am of our guys. We talk about you get what you deserve, and these guys come to practice every single day. They're in the weight room. Any opportunity where we're asking and asking them to do something, they're all over it, and they're doing it to an extremely high level. So, we expect to win games. These games, and so of course the locker room's full of excitement, but I also want to make sure that we understand that's the expectation, and there's a lot of season left, and so want to make sure we don't blow all our energy into this win, and make sure we can handle success and get ready for next week.
Thanks, Coach. Start on the left side with Nick Kelly.
Yeah, when you have 2 freshmen, like you mentioned, over here, Coach.
Sure.
When you have 2 freshmen in a game where resolve was needed, and they were the ones who provided it, I mean, what does it say about those 2?
Yeah, it says a lot. It says mentally that they're well ahead of their time, and they've played enough snaps now, to where there's a belief that not only that they have in themselves, but we all do, and we see it in practice. And they're playmakers. They battle, they grind. They were tired. Played a lot of snaps, each of them. A lot of running, but they're true. They're true as far as what we ask, and grinding 4 quarters and need them till the very end. And so they earn that stripe down the middle of their helmet today. That's for sure.
Jump to the right side, Charlie.
Yeah, Coach Jalen had almost 500 yards of total offense. Just what did you think of the way he played and the way he started the game?
Yeah, he was, I think, exceptional. And I really, I didn't want to jump the gun, but I just really felt like the last couple of weeks, and it starts with the Wisconsin game where he got into a little bit of rhythm, made those plays. We still didn't have enough opportunities really. He threw it, I think we either threw it 17 times or something like that. But you could see him taking that step from week 2 to week 3. The offensive line, I think, is doing a good job for the most part of really protecting him and, and he's thinking about, where he's going to go with the ball. It doesn't mean he's perfect, but man, he's a weapon out there, and he's doing it both through the air and with his feet. He's tough to game plan against when you're on the other side. When he needed to put the ball somewhere, I really felt like, his accuracy, and that goes to, his timing, the rhythm, the confidence, the belief that he has in his receivers and whoever's catching the pass. And not everyone goes. Not everyone. There was a couple times where we actually let him down. We let him down and didn't have a couple guys run exactly what they were supposed to do, and it looks kind of fuzzy, and you're wondering what the heck's going on. And that's a credit. I felt like he just mentally kept staying the course, and that he continues to grow in all ways, not just as a football player, but as a leader as well.
Go back over to the left side of Mike.
Kirby had mentioned at halftime he hadn't seen you guys throw to empty before, and it seems like maybe you caught them off guard early in the game. How'd you feel like you adjusted as the game went on, and maybe they got more of a handle on that?
Yeah, well, we hit the one to Ryan, in the third quarter. He made this kind of the circus catch. And yeah, there was more of that. I mean, we've done it, throughout the season, but there was certainly a heavier dose of that. And, I really felt like when we went empty, Jalen did a good job of seeing the space, seeing the coverages. And that's what I love, because we have a lot of playmakers out there and sometimes just getting the ball in their hands. So, there's adjustments going back and forth. They did a nice job with some things. And then we had to counter back as well.
Chris Lowe on the left side.
Hey, Kalen, I know you've been in a lot of big games, but could you take us through the emotional roller coaster to get up by 28, and then those last few minutes when you guys were like both teams were trading haymakers?
Yeah. When you face a really good football team, there's going to be a strong push. That's what I would expect from us if we were ever in a spot. We're going to fight till the very end, and I expect our guys to go make plays. And sometimes when they're in their situation, really on their heels and really just throwing it up, and kind of that urgency that they needed to have, and a couple plays go your way, those are the sparks, and that's what happened. And they did a nice job converting on some fourth downs. I think that was really the story in the second half, is those fourth down calls, fourth down plays. We get one or two of those. Really the game looks different, I think, in the second half. So, but yeah, it's those are the battles. We know that that's what each and every week is going to be. Just people are going to bring their best shot to us, and that's the SEC. So. Again, proud of our guys and the way they kept responding. It wasn't like, the next play was, or the next drive was always perfect, but we did play team football, and I thought covered for each other. We got some takeaways, got a field goal, special teams did a nice job there. Of course, there were some letdowns, and we all saw what some of those were too.
Question in the back right, Chase.
Can you speak to Kendrick Law having to come out of the game and what his situation is?
Yeah, he just got a lower body injury. So, I don't know what he'll be. It's unfortunate, because I thought he really had a great week or two of practice, and kept building too, and putting a lot. And he was, I know, really juiced up before the game. So thought he was doing some good things as far as just helping our offense. You might not be things that show up on the stat sheet. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to be there with us throughout the whole game.
Back left, Ryan.
Coach, an answer like that at the end, what does that say to your team, and what's your message to the team, and how does that carry over now that you guys made a response at the end like that?
Yeah, we talked about it on Sunday. There were some games last week. Our guys had the bye week, and they watched a lot of football. And we talked about how, there's some last second plays, and, you got to keep fighting and keep playing. And the game, with our talent, is going to keep coming back to us, even when it feels like it's running away from us. And, that belief from tonight is something we will certainly make sure and be intentional on remembering, because those are the things that are going to happen again. And we're going to have to do the same thing at some point throughout the season. You never know, it might be sooner than later. But guys being ready for when their opportunity comes. We've talked a lot about that during fall camp. I reminded them before the game, and I thought guys were ready when their opportunity came, and went and made a play. And that's what we're going to need.
Right in the middle of the room, Katie.
You just hit on this a little bit, but what kind of leadership and composure did you see from Jalen at the end to make that play after Georgia had just taken the lead?
Yeah, he put the ball where he needed to. And I think, just it's one of the areas I felt that he really improved, and that throw and the location of that throw, that was intentional. I really will say that strongly because that's one of the areas that we worked on. If you saw the first couple of games and where some of those fades were thrown, and that's an improvement. And that's not just him; that's the receivers also being on the same page with him. So it doesn't always fall on Jalen's lap with some of those plays that we had early in the year. You saw Ryan catch the touchdown against Wisconsin. You saw a couple of those things starting to happen. He took a next step. Guys don't always have to be wide open right now. You saw him throwing guys open and the receivers anticipating that, hey, I'm going to get the ball. And that's progress in our passing game. And we can keep doing those things. We'll be tough to defend.
All right, Johnny.
Hey, Coach, locally, we've seen Ryan for a few years now in the state, but from a national standpoint, this game is kind of his arrival. You mentioned the circus catch and then the go-ahead score at the end. Just how special of a player is he? And in those crunch time moments, is it in the back of your mind, I got to get to the ball?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's involved, and I still feel. I mean, I think we threw it to 10 or 11 different guys today. And that's going to be the key, is that everyone still is involved, so that attention can't just solely be on him. And so he's a guy. Those are some of the plays. Some of the ones he's had in the early part of the season, he was very open. But there was reasons why he was also open, just a subtle understanding of timing and where the ball and what the concept was, where the ball was going to be thrown. But now you see some of the playmaking that I know we saw during fall camp, where there are competitive catches, and that happened a couple times tonight. So then after I think the thing I'm probably more impressed with that I knew he was going to bring, but it's what he's doing after the catch too. It's not surprising, but it's certainly impressive. And when you practice every day against each other and you have a couple scrimmages, you get a couple chances, but he's doing it over and over again, getting the ball in his hands and making people miss, and a lot of yards after catching, yards after contact. So he's a special player. The most impressive thing also with that is how he just handles success, and he's going to be back to work. He's going to be the same guy on Tuesday, same guy tomorrow when we show up and do our workouts. And so that's what I think our team really sees in him. The upperclassmen, I know have noticed that from day one.
We'll only have time for two more questions. Start front left, please.
You talked about Jalen's execution on that fourth quarter throw. Was the thought to challenge Georgia deep, on the first play and kind of hit them when maybe they weren't as focused? And then just what was your, I guess, conversation with Jalen heading into that drive?
Well, Jalen and I have talked a lot. This isn't just this week. It's been since day one about never having regrets. And so competing till the very end, and really that's what I want our team to do. But we talk about that a lot, and staying positive and keep fighting. And then, sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way, and doesn't mean you lose the game, but sometimes just a play doesn't end up the way that you wanted. You got to keep fighting. When it comes to the concept, a lot of our plays have opportunities where you can have you find that one-on-one, and if you like the matchup, you go after it. And so he liked what he saw, obviously, and delivered, and Ryan did the rest for him. But a lot of our concepts have shots built in, but also some other elements to the passing game where you're looking still to have a high completion percentage. I think that's the one thing that jumped out at me. I don't know what 27 to 33 is. It's got to be 80+%. So that's what I love to see. If we can be over 65, that's positive steps, and he's well above that.
Last question. How many grades? Far right.
Hey, Coach. At the beginning of the week, you mentioned that at least one doubter falls in line with the Lank mentality. After a win like tonight, do you feel like some of those doubters might have been silenced a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, and that's some stuff internally, that we know that you have a matchup like this, there's going to be people that believe one thing or another, and is this a mismatch, this position against that position, so that link is from the team aspect, but it's also a position group or individual, a side of the ball. And so our guys, I think, do a great job of just having that edge to them that comes along with that mentality. I'm proud of them because they understand that edge, but they keep the confidence, and they don't do it in an arrogant way. And I appreciate the way they come to work. That's what you can really see that translates to the opportunities and wins, a win like we had tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you. Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide. There he is, Kalen DeBoer, and Alabama with a win. Jim Dunaway and Clint Lamb hanging out. I'm Mick Gillispie. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thanks for hanging out. We got some calls logged in. I want to hear from you guys. Just quick synopsis, guys, and then we'll get back to the phone lines again.
Clint, you go first, man. I want to hear from you at the stadium.
Oh, man, what a game. A lot of fun, obviously. Alabama's a better football team than Georgia. I mean, and that's not me trying to take a shot at Georgia at all. It's just I think Alabama had great execution. They had a great game plan going in. When you talk about coaching staffs and the importance of having good assistants, I really feel like this is a perfect example of that. Guys were prepared, whether it be on an individual level or collectively. I understand that they kind of took their foot off the gas in the second half. It allowed Georgia to slowly crawl their way back into the game. And, it could have lost the game if it wasn't for a miraculous play by Ron Williams. But just when you watch the beginning of that game, the preparation, everything that you had seen from Alabama's offense in the sense of you knew they could run a variety of things off of different formations, throw a lot of different things at you, but we really hadn't seen everything come together on offense. We saw that defense really aggressive, had not seen much aggression from Kane Womack up to this point. But, what he's been or what he was at USA or at Indiana or anywhere else, one of the best defensive minds in college football, in my opinion. And, he's got the personnel for the first time in his career to be able to execute everything he wants to do. And so it was a really impressive performance. Don't want to, obviously taking the foot off the gas, that's going to concern fans. But, I mean, the blackout back in 2008, that was a 41-30 win.
Mm-hmm.
So 41-34, it did feel very blackoutish. But, very impressive win for Kalen DeBoer against Kirby Smart.
Felt very Camback for a second, or is it going to be? It was going to become the comeback is what it was going to be if it ended up being that way. But thank goodness for the ending. And just my two big takeaways, and I'm going to let you guys do what you always do because that's what everybody wants to hear and see. One, I was just looking for how this coaching staff prepared for a big game, and I was just blown away both with the OC and the DC and the plan they came out with and the way they called the game. And I really think it had Kirby and his staff dazed and confused for that first 18 to 20 minutes of the game to where they were playing catch up. And that just impressed me so much that coaching staff that we, are learning more about every day. But this was the first real big game to see how they schemed it, prepared for it, and the way they handled it. And I just thought it was brilliant on both sides of the ball, the way they called it and what they had schemed up for the Georgia players. And the other thing I'll leave you guys with tonight is I don't want to see this team again. You know how it goes. When you beat a team like this, I don't want to see them again. So if they don't make the playoffs, that's fine. If they don't make Atlanta, that's fine. If Tennessee, Texas, whatever happens down the road, I don't want to give Kirby another bite at the schemes there. I just was blown away at this whole game tonight and was sick to my stomach for a second when I thought it was going to slip away. Just welcome to the Kalen DeBoer era, and it was just so much fun. And how about everybody that wears number 2 and number 4 on the field tonight? Just spectacular on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, look, let's get some calls. You guys, when we answer the call, just throw it out there, and then we'll chew on it. So if you got something for Jim, if you got something for Clint, for me, you make a comment. So we can get a lot of these calls in, but we appreciate all you guys for holding on. So let's go back to the calls and talk some Alabama and Georgia. Who's this and where you calling from?
Oh, man, it's Schaefer from Charlotte. I got a quick, my 2 cents on tonight's game. One, I am very worried about Nick Sheridan's play calling around 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. I don't know if he was in Jalen's ear telling him to hurry up, but I did not think we should be snapping the ball with 23 seconds left on the play clock. in like 4 consecutive plays. That cost us the game, but I'm happy. Roll Tide and fuck Auburn.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that call, man. Schaefer, always good to hear from you, brother. And Roll Tide to you and all you guys in North Carolina right now. And thoughts and prayers to all of our friends in the mountains of North Carolina, which isn't too far from where I spend a lot of time during the summer. So, but anyway.
Well,
all
listen,
right,
Schaefer brings up a great point, though,
Yeah.
guys. So, burning the clock in the second half. But I will say this. Now, it didn't work out, but I like being aggressive, Clint. And I watched Auburn earlier today, the whole fourth quarter. I mean, Hugh even got in his quarterback's face during a timeout because he wasn't running the ball. He was still running RPOs, the P part of the RPOs. And it wasn't going to work out. Do I wish they'd have burned a little bit more clock? Yes. Is that something I think they'll get used to? Probably. And it was about to bite us in the ass. Yes. But I did not want to sit there and be conservative for the final 9 minutes of this game and then let it come back and then have to crank it back up again. So I understand what Schaefer is saying. He's a good football mind up there in North Carolina. But after watching what happened to Auburn earlier today, I'm okay staying aggressive. I do wish they'd let a little bit more time go off the clock.
My thoughts on Auburn. Sorry, Jim. All right, Clint, what do you think, man?
No, he raises a good point. I will say this, though. You got to think about how we would be reacting if they go out there and they run 3 straight plays and they punt it back to Georgia. I feel like they were pretty conservative for most of the second half. And so I think they realized that momentum was slipping away. Georgia was starting to creep back. And it's like, hey, when we were running the offense, when we were doing our thing, we were having a lot of success. And we've got to start getting some first downs. Stop going 3 and out. Stop punting the football back to Georgia because they were actually starting to do something with it. Defense, a lot of rotation. You had guys playing fresh for most of the game. But towards the end, they were on the field a lot. And so, the offense really needed to start getting some first downs. And so, if they go out there and they run it up, 3 straight plays and they punt it back to Georgia, everybody's talking about how conservative they're being. So they were kind of whatever they did, if it didn't work, they were going to get criticized for it, in my opinion. So I can't really say that I blame them. Should they have let a little bit more clock, run? Yes, but I understand the logic. They were in such a good groove in the first half. They had Georgia figured out. They had them playing on their heels, and if Georgia's allowed the entire play clock to see what you're lined up in, what you might be doing, it can be, you can give them time to make some adjustments pre-snap. And so sometimes you're trying to catch them off guard a little bit. So I understand both sides of it, but I also understand that anytime you start losing momentum, what shouldn't have happened is I feel like they should have continued to have their foot on the gas for a majority of the third quarter and really into the fourth quarter. I think they got a little too conservative, a little too early, and then they tried to get back to doing the other stuff. So that's what I'd like to see them kind of do, wait a little while the next time around.
And you just didn't want to keep throwing that defense out. I'm not counting special teams. I've got 76 plays for Georgia in this game, 76 scrimmage plays, not counting punts or anything like that. I mean, that's a lot of defensive snaps for those guys being out
in the
there.
second half too. A lot of that. I mean, they were not having a lot of offensive success in the first half. So when you talk about 76 plays, I would probably, guess a huge chunk of that was second half stuff.
Yeah, Clint will have that whole breakdown on covercrimson.com, by the way, guys. He's going to go through like he always does. Dino Vine, thank you for the super chat, brother. We'll take it, man. Thank you so much. Nice try, Georgia. Dino Vine, man, we appreciate it. All right, back to the phone lines again. Same thing. Just throw it out there. We'll chew on it, guys. And thanks for holding on. Who's this and where you calling from?
This is Colt Porter from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
What's up, man?
Colt? What's up, man? Hey, I just want to say Roll Tide, and that was the craziest game I've ever seen. It was going back and forth, throughout the whole fourth quarter, and I was shaking in my pants at the end of it.
Were you at the game?
No, I wasn't at the game. I was watching it from home, but the game wasn't but like 15 minutes away from me. But I don't know. I could probably hear the stadium from if I walk outside my house.
Yeah, I know those. I remember those days, man. I spent many years in Tuscaloosa, and when I wasn't there, or I had to leave to go do the post-game show on radio, I could hear the crowd from the car. But hey, look, it's a win, man. A win's a win. And I'm like with Clint. I just think that I think this is a learning experience for DeBoer and the staff. Don't take your foot off the brake. We could have scored 60 on these guys. When we had to start scoring on them again, they're the same overrated defense that they were before. And you know what I love too, Colt? I'm going to say this right now. Jalen Milroe talked all that smack about those guys last year, and we were like, oh, they're going to come out here and shut him down. We shut him down. Our game plan shut him down in the second half. When we had to get it cranked up again, guess what? It got cranked up again. I think Georgia's a great team. I hope we play him again. I think we'll beat them again. Sorry, Jim. I think we will.
I think we will too, especially with that Ryan Williams and Jalen Milroe combo. Ryan Williams, he's something crazy. He's only 17 years old, and he's looking like a NFL star already. I just hope he don't leave us in the how they have the what's it called
NIL.
The NFL draft is what's next for him. Yeah,
he'll be paid.
he will leave us someday. It'll be called the NFL.
I think he'll be all right. Hey, Cole, thanks for calling us, man. Roll Tide, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad he was only shaking.
2024, baby. Woo!
There we go. I love it.
I'm glad he was only shaking in his pants because I was about to do something else.
Did you think I thought that might be it too? I'll be honest, guys, and you guys kind of throw this out. And callers, hold on, we're going to get all you guys in. I thought that we were going to make a play, man. I never had that feeling that Alabama was going to lose this game, even when they were behind. I thought, hey, I give Georgia a ton of credit because they're a hell of a team, man. I mean, the only time they lose is when they match up against Alabama, and that's a huge compliment. I mean, Alabama's they're basically their streak ender, but they've got a lot of heart. They played like a champion too. But I just didn't think they were going to win. But I thought Alabama would make a play. Now, I didn't know there was going to be the Ryan Williams play. And, Jim, I think they ought to make a Daniel Moore out of that.
Well, you could make a whole Louvre out of all the plays that were tonight. Clint, what I got from this game tonight was just the guts of this team. Everybody playing their role, like Rousseau playing on a bum ankle out there tonight, makes a big play on a fumble there. They rotate defensive linemen on the other side. So just imagine how many offensive line snaps you got from guys like Booker and those guys, and just how aggressive the young DBs were all night long. The receivers, we've said here the last couple of years, well, what have we said about Alabama? The receivers have dropped off. The receivers have dropped off from the Devontae days. Hell, not anymore. You got Ryan Williams out there, but what about Bernard making big catches? Yeah. The tight ends making big catches. You name them. They're out there making big catches tonight. And that's my takeaway is these unknown guys who have filled up the roster for those that left. And we've seen them play these games, but on this stage, you wanted to see what they'd be on this stage. And they became household names. And I love that these young guys went out there and played all those snaps on both sides of the ball on that stage and did what they did tonight.
I will say you raised a great point with Corey Rousseau and just the fact that he clearly played through an injury. He was not the only one. You could tell Jahad Campbell was not 100%. Every time he was coming to the sidelines, he was hobbling, but he continued to play through it. Like I said, at the end of the game, they were having to play a ton of snaps. Guys were battling, trying to get stuff done. And, Justin Jefferson had already left the game. Jeremiah Alexander, he was back, for the first time this season. But, how close to 100% is he? Is he still dealing with some stuff? He's still kind of a guy who's making that transition. He's your linebacker for. So Jahad Campbell knew if he goes out, what he was doing for Alabama's defense as far as the versatility, they had him lining up at Wolf quite a bit, playing that shallow off-ball linebacker role when Justin Jefferson was still in the game. They kind of made him, kind of just a primary off-ball linebacker when Justin Jefferson went out. But it was, really impressive to see, once they gave up that touchdown to Georgia for Georgia to take the lead, they came back and you ended up seeing, I saw Jahad Campbell on the sidelines, and he's looking at Jalen Milroe, and he keeps saying, I need you for. And Ford goes out there and, proceeds to help them get or retake the lead. That was really impressive. But I will come back to the fact that the coaching staff was such a big part of this. This is not a knock against Nick Saban. I think this is more of a knock against recent Nick Saban staffs. But how many times have we been in these types of games where we have said Alabama seems to be getting out-coached? Doesn't mean that they've always lost those games, but there were times where it kind of, it was kind of deer in headlights as far as a lot of the things that they were throwing at Alabama, whether it be offense or defense. Tonight, it was Alabama taking the fight to Georgia. It felt like they had Georgia's number, and they caused them a lot of problems on both sides of the football. Carson Beck, forcing turnovers with him. Offensive side, just the confusion that they were causing Georgia's defense. It was such an impressive performance, and the players were the ones out there executing. But I will continue to reiterate, this is where that coaching staff that we've all been talking up pretty much all offseason, this is the type of game where that comes into play, because I feel like pretty much at every position they were prepared and they were in the right mindset and ready to go.
No, I love when you say that, Clint. I love that, and I also love super chats. Barry, thank you, man. Go Cubs! Season's over. We're at football now, but we'll definitely take the super chat. 45-3 since 2021. All 3 losses to Alabama. How about that? And another one today. All right, back to the phone lines again and again. Throw your comment in there, and we'll chew on it. But thank you for hanging out with us. And who's this, and where you calling from?
Hey, Nick, it's Demetrius from North Carolina.
Demetrius, roll Tide, man. Good to have you.
Hey, roll Tide. I want to just piggyback on what Clint and hey, where's this coach? Where's this coaching? Where's his assistant coach and coaching staff? We missed them for the last 3 years upon Nick Saban. I mean, that's why I want to give a shout out to the ship got kind of shaky, but in the end they got the ship navigated it through their shaky water. That's all I got to say is roll Tide.
Hey, roll Tide, Demetrius, and keep that truck rolling too, man.
Demetrius, one of the great truck drivers in America.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Out in North Carolina, man. Thank you, Demetrius. Always great to hear your voice. But what do you guys think? Demetrius, like, giving the shout out to the coaching staff. I mean, Clint, you kind of touched on that. Jim, you too. I mean, it felt like for Nick Saban, Jim, not to interrupt you, that it, like Clint alluded to, every time you turned around, it was like these guys are showing up, guys like T-Rob, you turn around and not only are they leaving, they're trying to bring your players with them, and you don't have a lot of loyalty. This guy's got loyalty. You can tell every time that his assistants get up on the stand and start talking, they love him.
I would go back to just how aggressive Alabama was early on and to what Clint was talking about. 15 plays on the first side of the ball, both sides. Nick Saban traditionally, especially defensively, plays very base, wants to see all the stuff you've scripted and worked on in the off week, and then they adjust off that. And, it worked. Greatest coach of all time. Tonight, different attitude, came out as aggressive as you can come out, both offensively and defensively, and that was a different feel. And I cannot tell you how many times I said in the first quarter, oh my goodness, because of the way this was going down. Not the way you expected Georgia and Alabama to go down. It never goes down like this. And it was an impressive start. And Clint, to your point, it's because the coaching staff came out and said, we're not going to be conservative. We're not going to, because it's a big stage. It's the first time we've been on this stage in the SEC. By the way, we just played for the national championship last year. We know how to attack a big game, and they go out there and they're aggressive. And I think that will endear them to Alabama fans because they won the game. If they'd lost the game, we'd probably be bitching about how aggressive they were early on. But it worked.
We'd be pissed, Clint.
Hey, I will say, Kalen DeBoer, his ability to get the most out of his quarterbacks. I mean, we've talked about how he had that ability, but just seeing it tonight, man, this is the polar opposite to how Michael Penix Jr. won. And yet he is getting the absolute most out of Jalen Milroe. I saw Milroe make a lot of strides. I mean, when you think about the 3 big games last year, and we've talked about it a lot on the channel, but you're talking about Texas, Georgia, and Michigan. I thought late in the second half against Georgia last year, he really started to come on. He made plays when he needed to. But tonight, he had such a confidence about what he was doing. It felt like he trusted the offensive game plan. It was built around him. He made plays with his legs, but he also made tons of plays with his arm. I mean, anybody that's questioning whether this guy's got it as far as being a passer, is he a perfect product because he played really well against Georgia? No. But I'm telling you guys, he has made significant strides. I would actually say I'm not quite here yet, but his jump in this type of performance and this, the how good Georgia's defense is, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Jaden Daniels last year, who ended up winning the Heisman, ended up being the number 2 overall pick in the draft. But there was a leap from Jaden Daniels last year that really vaulted LSU's offense into being, it really carried their entire team last year. The difference here is that Alabama's got a defense that can complement that in the way that Kane Womack is utilizing the personnel that he's got and the depth that he's got. He's never had this many toys to play with before. He's being really creative with how he uses them. And you've got, this was a growing moment or some growing pains for Alabama's young secondary. And yet they battled in the end. Xavier Brown, a true freshman corner, was the guy who made, the game-sealing interception. So it's just you see both sides of the football working in unison. Really exciting product that you're getting, and I think it's only going to continue to get better from here.
Hey, guys, like and subscribe. There's 518 of you hanging out with us right now. Please give us 518 Roll Tides, thumbs up, and thank you so much. Make sure you are a subscriber to covercrimson.com and the Cover Crimson YouTube channel. Clint and I get together every day with our show. We got Jake Coker, national championship quarterback, Mike Johnson, 2-time All-American and a national champion on here with us. We got a lot of great people that get on here. Jim's on here with us right now too. So thumbs up. Thank you for being here. And we really appreciate you guys so much. Super chats. Anytime you guys hit us with a super chat, I got to tell you, Roy, thank you, man. Thank you. Roll Tide to you. And thank you. And all you guys. And Ice, man, thank you for the super chat. I'm telling you right now, Milrow to Hollywood may be this Daniel Moore print from this game, but thank you, Iceman, for that. All right, let's go back to the phone lines again and just throw it out there. You make your comment, we'll chew on it. I'm going to get to all you guys as we talk Alabama and Georgia. Hey, how you doing? Where are you calling from? Who is this?
What's up, Mick? This is Sam from Alabama, man.
Sam from Alabama. Roll Tide, brother.
Roll Tide, man. Hey. What's that award that our kicker won, the Lou Gossett Jr. Award? He got to really cut the close on the field goal, wasn't it?
It was tight.
I'm glad we didn't repaint that thing this week.
Hey, defensively, man, it's like the first half was totally different from the second half. Same thing with the offense, like you guys were saying. It was a totally different game. It was like they went conservative, and it's like, I don't know why. Keep your foot on the gas, man. Don't let off of these guys, man. Don't give these guys any confidence at all. It was this one play, I think it was like a flea flicker screen pass to Jeremy Bernard. I know some people have been criticizing the play, but if we had just made one block, one block would have just he probably would have took that for a touchdown. On defense, we just got soft. We weren't aggressive at all. And I don't blame the players so much. I just blame the coaches' mindset or adjustments in the second half of how they're gonna try to finish this game. You gotta be aggressive with these guys. You gotta keep punching them in the face. And it seemed like we just stopped and we let them off the hook, man. So, that's my thoughts, man. I appreciate you for taking my call. And, have a good evening, man.
Roll Tide, Sam. It's always great to hear your voice. And, Sam's been part of our show for a long time, guys, and makes some good points. Your thoughts? I'll start with you, Jim, and then Clint, you jump in.
Oh, he makes a lot of great points. And here's what I want to see next, okay? And I'll sit here and celebrate this one when I get off the air with you here in a second. But now I start thinking down the road what tonight meant for Alabama. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but if you go 10-2 this year, you're in the playoffs. And now that you've gotten past Georgia, this schedule looks a little different. Tough game at Tennessee. LSU's could be a challenging game. However the schedule is. Missouri coming to town. I love where this team is now. And going into this game, I was like, well, let's see how it's going to look. Wisconsin looked fantastic. Can you do that to a Georgia team? So I come out of here with just what Sam is saying. This team, now the sky's the limit. They'll get votes for number one in the country, without a doubt, tomorrow on the AP poll. they may be the #1 team in the country in the AP poll when the poll comes out tomorrow. And it won't bother me at all. I don't know about you guys. I'm okay with being #1 again. It's become a tradition the last 17 years. And I think this team can handle it. I hope they can. And that's the next thing I want to see, how they handle the success, because they know they came out as the they came out as the hunters tonight because of all the new people. Now, how can they handle that? Alabama got used to being the hunted. Now, all of a sudden, they were the hunters again. But now it's going to flip back around, and everybody's going to be like, Saban's gone. It's the same old Alabama, so the target's going to be right back on these guys' backs.
Yeah, that's such an excellent point, and that's exactly what I want to see too. You've had, the success, like Alabama last year. A lot of people weren't giving them a lot of, much of a chance beating Georgia in the SEC championship. They go out there, they get that job done. And then everybody starts saying, oh, man, they're going to win the national championship. They'll beat Michigan, and then they'll beat, the winner of Texas and Washington. They go out there and they lose to Michigan. So, you can't get complacent. This was obviously an excellent win. It was a statement win for Kalen DeBoer. For Kirby Smart, that narrative has shifted from, him having a Nick Saban problem to him having an Alabama problem, which is exactly what we talked about as far as what that narrative might look like. But at this point, now that Alabama's kind of they are absolutely going to be perceived as the #1 team in the country because of how dominant they were, in the first half. And they got to continue to kind of, get to work. There's still some things that need to be worked on. But, yeah, I will say that the conservative play calling and stuff defensively, I thought – I agree with the second half stuff, but with the first half, it was like they continue to have their foot on the gas. And that kind of proves the point as far as, as long as they continue to work and continue to, have their foot on the gas, this team can really not only keep up with anybody, but they can beat anybody. And there was I think it was like 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Alabama's got the football, and it's like, hey, they can't be conservative here. It was 28-7 at that point. It's like if you give Georgia the football back on, I think it was 3rd down.
Right.
Now Georgia can drive down the field. If they score a touchdown, then they get to potentially stack drives. They come out at the beginning of the second half. If they go down and score, now it's a 28-21 game with an entire pretty much second half left to go. Alabama ended up having a punt, but then the defense goes out there, and I think that was the second interception they had of Carson Beck. But that's the kind of – they continue to have that aggressive approach. They understood exactly, what they would be potentially giving up if they did allow Georgia to go down the field and score. They get a turnover, and that, prevented Georgia from being able to stack those drives. I was very impressed with how they managed the entire first half. I was impressed with the fact, Mick brought this up, and I think it's an excellent point. They when they needed to turn it back on, they turned it back on, and they had a lot of success. But guys just made plays when they needed to at the end of the game. They took command and control early. I know that the scoreboard reads just a 7-point victory, but this was one of the more impressive performances that I've ever seen an Alabama team have, just because of how dominant they were in that first half. Just with everybody thinks Kirby Smart and Georgia's the new Alabama, the new Nick Saban. And we never saw a Nick Saban team get down 28-0 ever. There were times where maybe they lose the national championship to Clemson 44-16. But outside of that, from start to finish, Alabama was dominant as far as the first half. And then the second half, they gave up some stuff, but just really impressive performance.
Yeah, it was I had a lot of January 1, 1993 vibes at the beginning of this, because early on, Carson Beck was throwing first-round money away, looking like Gino Torretta, and Alabama's defense was all in his head. He probably saved a little bit towards the end, but he looked shaky early on, and I was sitting there remembering old games. When they started to come back, it was the 2010 Iron Bowl, but early on, it felt a whole lot like the end of the 92 season, and it felt fantastic.
Let's go back to the phone lines again. I'm going to get to all these calls, so you guys hang with us, get to your point, and we'll chew on it. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, Mick, let's chew on it.
Let's
it's
chew
Phil
on
from
it.
San Francisco.
Hey, what's up, Phil? Roll Tide, brother.
Roll Tide, brother. Just poured a nice whiskey to celebrate and listening to y'all. I love it. Y'all are killing it. You kill it every week. You're killing it tonight.
Well, thank you. And I got some help, man. We got the crew. We got 530 people here. Thumbs up, Roll Tide, everybody. You got Phil on.
My whiskey's right over there, though. Can I grab it?
Yeah, grab it, Jim. This is the spot for it. What'd you think, Phil?
Yeah, let me tell you, so many emotions. First of all, it's crazy. I had to go to an event today, so I was watching the first quarter as I was driving. Don't tell the highway patrol, as I had it going as I was cruising down the road from Sacramento. But I get home and we're up big, and everyone's texting, and of course, everyone who's texting are not Bama fans, and they're just like, blow out this, and I'm like, y'all, lots of game left. And you know what? What came to my mind was Auburn 2010. And I could not get it out of my head. Like, we were punching Auburn in the mouth, and then we all know what happened from there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But we're on the other side of it here, and it feels good. I was talking to my brother Travis, who you know, and really quickly we were both agreeing that gotta love a win like this. I mean, yes, you walk away with the win, but a lot to walk away and learn from. And this coaching staff, great win, and things that they can look at to get better at as we go forward, because obviously the slate that we play is tough each and every week, and it's going to continue to get tough. But a lot of great things to walk away with because we won. I mean, we would have walked away with a lot even with a loss, but it would have really stunk. But I'm still kind of in shock. I've kind of got a stomach ache and a headache, and I don't know if the bourbon's going to help it, but all in all, I liked a lot of what I saw today. I felt there was just a little bit of mistakes here and there, and some of it was youth, and some of it was just trying to get together as a team. But overall, there was a lot of great things. And I want to ask you, give me, who is that 17-year-old? Who's number 2 to you? Like, Travis and I were talking about it, and like, who does he resemble from past? And I've got some ideas, but I'm curious who you think he's replicating in his youth and who he's like from the players of old, not just Bama players, but anyone in general.
He's Willie Mays playing baseball. I mean, like, there's really, I don't really know, like, I mean, I heard the stories about 15-year-old Willie Mays playing center field for the Black Barons, and being on the Giants back in the day. I mean, this is, I love Julio. He's the best Alabama receiver to me. This guy right now, what this guy's doing, Julio couldn't have done it. Nobody could have done this. The guy's supposed to be in high school. Who do you think? I mean, I don't know that there is a comp to me, just because, I mean, think about the plays the guy made tonight. He lives up to the nickname Hollywood. He makes the one play and he bats it in the air and catches it, and then we blow it, and then he just makes another play. Two guys run into each other. He takes it to the house. And at that point, I was like, man, this is the way that it played out was, to me, was amazing.
It really was. And so a few things. Willie Mays, that's a great analogy. I mean, this kid plays center field when he's trying to catch a ball, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He makes the moves. He turns the body. He just figures out a way to catch it. That first one where he knocked it up and bobbled it, I mean, you asked Kiki, and I was like screaming at the television because I'm so amazed at what this kid is doing. The kid at Ohio State, that's a true freshman too. The kid's a burner and makes great plays and catches the ball, but the hands, the attention to like following the ball and finishing, and then the moves after that number 2 makes. I'll tell you this. You said the two defenders ran into each other. This isn't the first time that's happened this season when he's caught a ball, and it's not because they just accidentally ran into each other. He caused that. He stopped on a dime, and it was almost like Maverick going, hey, I'm going to throw on the brakes, and they're going to fly right by.
Yeah, right.
What happened?
That's a great analogy.
He's got a little bit of David Palmer / Reggie Bush with some of those moves, and hands like Randy Moss. Oh my gosh, Reggie Moss. Randy Moss and Beckham in his prime. I mean, but he's himself. He is a specimen. And again, let's go back to the last play, that play between him and old number 4. I mean, we do know that 4 + 2 = 6, right?
Yeah.
The fact of everything, we looked like crap on offense in the second half. We really did. And I don't know if it was conservative gameplay. There's a lot, and I said it earlier, there's a lot to learn from this. And I think some of it is, hey, when you're up, milk that clock. Why are we hiking the ball with 20 seconds on the game clock? Or, it's like, come on, milk it down, get 5 minutes away from with a long drive because you're milking it, get a couple of first downs, but we're not doing that. But anyway, I'm sitting there, I'm frustrated. We're down by 1. I kind of saw it coming. And I'm like, what are we going to run here? And he steps back, and I knew it. As soon as number 4 steps back, I'm like, he's going for this. And when he let it go, I'm like, okay. And then we all saw what happened from there. And I'm still a little bit speechless. But it's scary because I'm starting to, and if the ball goes up in the air and number 2's around it, something special is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing.
Well, one thing I'll say about Ryan Williams, the ball winning ability, I think is spectacular. I understand he's 175 pounds. He doesn't play like it. It's kind of like with Schmitty, where, you're watching this guy and you're like, how is he able to do some of the things that he's able to do in the big, bad physical SEC? But the most underrated part of his game that I've noticed is his awareness. I almost compared it to pocket presence by a quarterback, but it's, you can kind of just simplify it to just awareness. Not only does he understand what he's doing on a particular play, but he seems to have an understanding of knowing exactly where defensive backs are going to be and how they're going to be covering him, because he's anticipating as he's making the catch. He understands exactly what he needs to do to set that defensive back up to miss. And that is one of the most rare traits that I've ever, you've seen it from other receivers. And I think, to a degree, a lot of receivers have that ability. But Ryan Williams, especially for being as young as he is, I just don't know that I've ever seen somebody have that good of a grasp of not only what he should be doing, but what the offense is doing and what the defense is going to be doing, given what the offense is doing. He's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers, and that's what makes it art to me on the football field. And I am dead serious. Jalen, I think Alabama, and maybe someone else could tell me, someone, and I would agree with them. I think Alabama could very well have, in my opinion, the 2 Heisman front runners. When you have this type of performance from, Ryan Williams, based off everything else he's done so far this season, and we've all kind of wondered, okay, he's done it, he's looked spectacular, but can he continue to do it against a team like Georgia? And then he ends up having his best statistical game, not just statistical game, his best game in an Alabama uniform in the biggest moments, making the plays when Alabama needs them to be made. But you also can't forget what Jalen Milroe's doing, because that guy, he's still on pace to rush for 24 touchdowns this year. He's had 2 in every single game, on top of the fact that he's making so much progress as a passer. So he's got to be up there too. So it's just, Ron Williams, I cannot say enough good things about that guy. He is truly, when I say special, I mean truly a special talent.
Yeah, I don't know about the Heisman for him, Clint. He's only averaging a little over 100 yards a game receiving. But Milroe became the betting favorite in Vegas. They changed the live odds in Vegas in the first half. That's how much people, I guess, started to bet Milroe in the first half to win the Heisman. Fowler mentioned it on the broadcast as they came out for the second half, that the betting favorite now for the Heisman is Jalen Milroe, which I don't think I've ever seen that happen in a game ever before, that they changed the betting favorite for the Heisman. But Ryan Williams, Dave Portnoy of Barstool tweeted after the touchdown where he made both of the guys freeze in the air and just distort and go different directions. He said that is the most matrix thing I've ever seen happen on a football field. And he's right, because his body was doing one thing and the other guys were doing other things, and they didn't look human as they morphed in the air, all 3 of them. And then he comes down, he sticks the landing, and then he's off to the races. It was a remarkable play that won the football game, and it would make a great Daniel A. Moore painting.
I hope so. Phil, any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, we can go. First of all, it's hysterical. I'm listening, and I keep nodding my head like I'm on video with you all.
You're right here with us, brother.
No,
and all of you guys hanging out with us
I
are
am.
too. Thumbs up. Give us a Roll Tide.
Yeah, definitely give a thumbs up. How great is this show? It is always so enjoyable to listen, and I appreciate all of what you all do, because I know it does take time and energy and honestly experience. You all are great at what you do. A couple quick things I'll leave you with. The defense definitely. I was extremely happy with what I saw most of the night with the defense. Even with some of those long drives in the second half. And look, I got to give Beck credit. We shocked him in the first half, and we shocked that Georgia offense. And I was proud to see that. In the second half, Beck found a way, and I got to give him credit because I'm not a big fan of his. I didn't think he was that good. He showed out in the second half. He made some great throws, some great reads. But even so, like they had some really long drives, long time drives, 11-play drives, and they weren't even past midfield yet. And then they had a big play. They kept getting it on fourth down because we would stuff them. They get it on fourth down on a really good play. Nothing against us. It was just a really good play from them. Or maybe we'd have a lapse in judgment and have a penalty or do something stupid. But when it came down to it, that kid, that young freshman, number 2, really made a big play. I mean, he saved the game. He absolutely saved the game in the last play on defense with that interception. So I got to give kudos to the defense, 100%. But I got one thing I want to point out, and I'll leave you all to talk about this, and you maybe talked about it earlier and I missed it. But I'm watching the game. Like I said, I got home and it was 21-0, and then we scored again. And I'm watching it, and at some point in one of those scores, when we were up at least 2 or 3 touchdowns, they kept showing Saban in his suite, and he's not. Of course, it's Saban, and he's emotionless after we scored, but he's got his glasses and he's got a pad of paper and a pen, and game day's over. What's he doing there? What's he making notes on? Is he going to call Coach DeBoer a little bit later and give a little bit of advice? Yeah. I don't know, but I'll shut up and listen. I love the show. Thank you all. Mick, thanks for hosting, and I love everything y'all do. Roll Tide.
Hey, Roll Tide, Phil, and congratulations on the new job with the Giants.
Yeah, I would say that he did have to go down and do a halftime hit on the game day set at halftime, so he may have been taking notes for that. Or are you maybe you just can't get the old coach out of him to make some notes 100%. And, people were making a big deal that he was very emotionless. They did catch him doing, I believe it was with Greg Byrne or somebody, a little fist bump after one touchdown. But, he can't be up there, I don't think, in this situation, even though he is all Alabama. Kirby is still his guy. And I don't think in that situation when it became 28-0, that you needed that he didn't want to get caught on air dancing around the suite with Kirby getting his eyes beat out on the other sideline. So I appreciate his composure. The smile and the little fist bump after one of the touchdowns said all you needed to know about where his loyalties were tonight.
All right, back to the phone line again. Jump in, tell us what you think, and let's do this. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, Mick, this is Brandon from D.C.
Brandon from DC, man. You know you're an all-American caller. Good to talk to you, man. Roll Tide.
I appreciate it. Hey, love y'all too, man. First of all, I have to commend Auburn's valiant effort to yet screw up another win. So that made my day feel fantastic.
Me too.
Next, I loved it, man. I wish I was at the game. I could have literally just soaked in all the tears. But second of all, man, I have to really commend the offensive and defensive coordinators. They did a fantastic job of getting our guys ready to play. I kept telling folks, wait on Jalen Milroe. He's going to get more comfortable. He's going to get more in rhythm. They're going to give him shots with the tight ends. The tight ends were a bigger part of the entire progress in our offense of just getting in rhythm throws, right? So when you have a spy, right, and they're looking at the quarterback, it opens up the tight end to make bigger plays. So you saw Dupree make a play. You saw Cuevas make a play. Mm-hmm. You just saw them getting more and more involved in the game plan. And I just want to say that you have to have patience and know that Milroe is going to put so much pressure on the defense because of his ability to run that the game is going to open up, and it's really going to just be him playing point guard, and he's going to be able to pick and choose if he likes to run, if he's going to throw it to the tight end, if he's going to throw it to one of our dynamic receivers. So, again, the offensive line, major kudos. They're in sync. They're rolling. It's amazing what you can do with a center that can, effectively snap the ball consistently and also block. No knock on my guy that left, but you see it's just a different flow in game. I want to see more of our running backs getting involved, but again, you have to understand that Jalen Milroe has gotten full go of the offense, right? So if he's doing these RPOs, he's doing these reads and runs, there's a reason why he had 117 yards rushing. It's because they're diving and crashing down on our running backs, and they were opening up the alleys on the outside, right? And so he was taking full advantage of that. And so as we get further in the year, people are going to try to take away his running ability, and now you're going to see Jam, you're going to see Justice have more effective runs. So just have patience there. We're not ignoring our running backs. It's just how the game sets up. But they're stacking the box because of Jalen Milroe's ability to run the ball, right? Next, man, look, Ryan Williams, and I heard a lot of people talking about it. I'm a former receiver. I played actually at Clemson, man, but I went to high school in Alabama. I went to Hoover. And so I've seen a lot, right? I played against Julio, right? I've seen a lot of great receivers. I have to say, I've never seen anyone like Ryan Williams.
Me neither.
Right? His ability to balance, his ability to catch the ball effectively with his hands, his ability to create separation at the drop of a dime. His balance is really what separates him from most receivers, right? Because, look, I love Smitty. Smitty was smooth. Smitty had fantastic hands. And Ryan Williams has that as well. But his ability and balance along the sidelines, his body control, and all of the things he does, this man doesn't have a man body yet, right? This is a 17-year-old kid that doesn't have a man body yet that is making players that have been at Georgia for 3 to 4 years, and some of them probably even 5, 6 years because of the COVID year, he's making them look stupid, right? He had Starks on skates, right? That when he tapped the ball up and his ability to kind of quick turn, like you said, like a center fielder, and get the ball and be able to still create yak yards, I've never seen anything like it, right? Like Henry Ruggs is probably maybe that burst of like the energy, like when he catches the ball, it just exudes. Waddle's another one. But Ryan is just smooth, right? And so that's what confused a lot of people because it doesn't look like he's trying hard, right? When he outran those two defenders after he put them in the blender with the spin move, it looks like he's cruising, right? And so he's a smooth athlete. And so those type of guys, man, they just make plays, right? And you said it best. He's got to work on the refinements of playing receiver, but it is that dynamic. Imagine what he's going to look like when he's a junior, right? Jeremy Bernard had a great game. And the trick play that they ran, if Proctor had a block, it would have been a touchdown, right? And so he kind of let up because I think he looked like he was confused. If he had just followed through and blasted Starks, that's a touchdown, right? So I liked how they mixed things up. They changed up the formations. They did a fantastic job with that. But here's the one thing I've got to defend, right? I hear a lot of people knocking the defense. Clint said it right. They were on the field for 76 plays in the second half. I want everybody to understand that Georgia went for fourth down, I don't know how many damn times.
5 of 5. They were 5 of 5.
It was actually terrible, right? And Wisconsin was the same way. So if the only way teams can even stay with us or compete with us is by going on fourth down, you're going to see a defense that is going to get gassed in certain parts, but we are bend, don't break type of defense. But they were on the field for so many dang reps, right? And so, again, Romick had a fantastic defensive plan. We did fantastic. And now everyone was asking questions. Why do we keep rotating these DBs? Why don't we just stick with 2? There's a reason why you rotate. You get these freshmen, you get the freshmen exposed, you get the freshman reps. And now when you get into these big moments, you get a Xavier Brown who has now seen it over 4 games now. He knows that they're going to be trying him. And he has the athletic ability to make that interception at that moment in time because he's been there, right? Bach made a fantastic play off the ball, right? You got to be able to rotate these guys in to get experience. So when injuries happen, when you have a Devontae Smith go down, you have Red come in and Red made a fantastic play, right? So everybody that had the doubts, I understood it. And I was one of those folks saying, I think they're holding back because they know they're going to unleash it on Georgia. They don't have to show too much. We're much better than anybody we play, and we don't have to show everything. So when we get to playing Tennessee, just know by the time we get to Tennessee, these freshmen that would have gone through the gauntlet, they just play one of the toughest games of their lives. They're going to be prepared, right?
Yeah.
So this is just the Alabama you're seeing is going to keep getting better and better and better. And you're going to see teams fold because they're like, we just can't keep up with them, right? We take this away, they're doing this. We take that away, they do this. Oh, they're getting turnovers, right? Swarm defense. We had 5 turnovers, right? When you do that, you break the will of the offense. And when you do the opposite, when we break the will of the defense, our team is just getting better by the week. So everyone have patience. The only thing last point I'll make, Mick, is that kicker. I don't know, bro. We might have to go with the redshirt freshman. a little shaky. Hey, look, when palms get sweaty, man, butt cheeks get tight. Whenever you're over there in a 100,000 in the stadium and you look like that leg is shaking, boy, you gotta get off. You're not ready for the big stage. He may have won the Lou Groza. This is Bama, right? And I'm gonna be patient with him, but he cut it close. That was a chip shot. So maybe it's just too big of a moment for him, and we might have to go with the freshman at some point. So you all watch that. But as long as the offense is scoring the way we're doing it, I'm good with him just kicking the extra point.
That's right.
Yeah, man, I loved it. I think that was a great game. I think that Georgia showed who they are, and they're a championship team, right? And so they're not going to just bend over and take it. They're going to fight back. They're going to make sure that nobody thinks that they're going to just come in there and just make them quit, right? Because look, they're going to go to Texas. Texas doesn't have that stamina. Texas doesn't have the grit. Georgia's going to break Texas, and everyone's going to see what we saw from an Alabama team, that no one can do that to Georgia other than Bama.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone that's bumping up Miami, right, you saw them get exposed. Tennessee hasn't played anybody yet. Just wait, because Ole Miss got exposed. Bama and Georgia are the creme of the creme, and they're the top of the top, and there's a reason why everyone else falls in line. So be patient. Enjoy the Auburn fiasco and just roll tide.
Roll Tide, Brandon.
Way,
man, killer call, man. And I can't wait to talk to you again after next game. This is one of my favorites right there. All-American caller, guys.
I'll tell you, I hope he's right about the Georgia and Alabama being the cream of the crop, because, I don't want Texas to come into this league and have a great first year. I'd love for them to take a couple of losses during the regular season. And Mississippi State played them hard today. I'd love to see the Georgia go to Austin and get that win, make this win look even better. He made a lot of great points. I will say this about Nicholson. I when he came from Alabama to Alabama after winning the Lou Groza, I said on the next round, I said, kicks at Miami of Ohio are not kicks in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's very different. They're very, just the attendance. We don't play games on Tuesday or Wednesday nights. There are no field goals. He will kick on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. Now, that being said, he's a talented guy, and he's only kicked 2 field goals, right? So hopefully he can find a groove. But I knew coming in that kicks he made to win the Lou Groza Award, which we all know he shouldn't have won anyway. It should have gone to the kid who he replaced in Tuscaloosa. Mm-hmm. He's got to get better, and that went through, but that was close. I'm with him. I want to wait and see. That may be the one position that I'm the most nervous about. But I also saw Alabama win a few national championships early on when they did not have the greatest kicker in the game.
It's wild to me that we're talking 4 games into the season and Alabama has attempted 2 field goals.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is just wild to me. But, I agree with all of that. And the points that Brandon made about the defense and just the rotation. There was one time where Xavier Brown, Georgia ran a go route and Xavier had a turn and run, and they barely, didn't connect. But it was like he had been out there for several plays. He just had to run, what could be a tiring route. And I thought it was, they immediately subbed in Jalen Mbakwe, and it wasn't because, Xavier had made a good play. It wasn't like he had gotten abused or something and they were trying to get him out of there. It was the fact that they knew, hey, we got guys that we can rotate in. The more they're making Xavier do this sort of stuff, we got trusted guys. Before it was like, okay, they're trying to get a lot of different guys ready to play in these types of games if they have to. Well, this game, it was, you don't do that kind of stuff. So when you see guys rotating in and playing, it's because their coaching staff trusts those guys. And just, it's very cool to be watching the growth of Mbakwe. Xavier Brown, you watch the growth in real time. This was a guy, he's given up some plays and other teams haven't been able to connect on it. We knew that Carson Beck and Georgia were capable. They missed on some early, but this guy continued to battle, and this will not be the last time that a team tries to pick on him. He's going to have to continue to get better. But the rotation that Alabama's got going at a lot of these positions, man, Alabama was in pretty rough shape in the second half as far as the fatigue, but when you're talking about what that could have been compared to, like, with a Nick Saban team, you didn't see nearly as much rotation at a lot of these positions. Can you imagine how tired those guys would have been if that defense or some of those defenses had been on the field as much as Alabama's defense was in the second half? I mean, that's just that you needed to have depth, trusted depth that could get the job done in the second half, and that's exactly what Alabama proved they have on the defensive side of football. Just really impressed with them, and I don't think people realize either. One final point that I'll make: it's a few minutes to go in the second quarter. Alabama's up 28-0. They stopped Georgia on that fourth down attempt, but it was the play that Justin Jefferson had gotten hurt before. He had to kind of run on the field late. He was clearly hobbling, and Alabama called a timeout, rightfully so. They didn't, Womack couldn't have known that they were going to, with essentially 10 guys, they were going to get the stop. But can you imagine getting the football at the 50-yard line? You're up 28-0, and everything is grooving and rocking. If that play would have stood and they would have gotten that stop, it is possible it could have been a complete rout. And so, I mean, that's just the way the football ends up working, because on that same drive, Georgia gets to have a second chance at that fourth down call. They get it. They drive down the field. They score. Now it's 28-7. Much different ball game than it being 28-0 with Alabama at the midfield with all the momentum. So just this game, as much as things kind of changed, at the end of the first half and then in the second half for quite a while, I mean, Alabama, just one or two more things go their way, and it's a complete rout. We're not even talking about Georgia making these for a comeback. No one's no one's having to go to the hospital because of the heart rate or anything like that. It was. I haven't been this impressed with an Alabama team in a very long time. I'll put it that way.
Man, you're getting me fired up, Clint. I mean, you talking about how much you like these guys makes me happy. Because I see it in your eyes. We read your breakdowns on covercrimson.com. You're going through every third down. You're going through every single snap, and it's great stuff. But you jumping on there and talking about that, man, is just fantastic. Let me do one more phone call, guys, and then we're going to do some game balls and some other stuff. But I'm here for the long haul tonight. I got nothing else to do but just revel in Auburn's loss and Alabama's win. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hunter Hall in Huntsville.
All right, man, go ahead.
Hunter Hall in Huntsville.
What's up,
Hunter?
Oh, man, I tell you, first off, let me ask, how many SEC games has Georgia won in a row now, regular season or postseason?
42, I think.
Now zero.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
I need clarification on something. If somebody jumps off sides, the wide receiver can just start running downfield before the ball snapped, and we get just an absolute joke of an explanation.
No, that was a. I don't think in the booth official knew what Herbstreit was asking him. I think he missed the guy getting a two-step jump on that play. There's no contact there. In my opinion, I'll check it out. But in my opinion, it should have been offsetting penalties, or they should have stopped the play, one of the two, because you had the Bama guy in the zone, and then you had him, the receiver, jumping. So that should have stopped the play right there.
The way the game's played. I mean, that's unacceptable.
Yeah. In my opinion, the play should have been stopped because the Bama guy was in the zone and the receiver started. So you could say the Bama guy entering the zone made the receiver jump off sides if you wanted to. But they should have got the completion. Yeah.
Otherwise, they changed the way that the game's supposed to be played.
Yep.
So Georgia was 3 of 15 on third down, and Kirby and Georgia was 5 of 5 on fourth down. And man, that's madman stuff right there. I mean,
that is crazy.
Hats off to him. Apparently, Kirby was incredibly impressive in his post-game press conference, but no surprise there, considering the pro that he is. But I'm not sure what adjustments he made at halftime, but, buddy, whatever he did, that was more impressive what he did in 20 minutes than he did in 2 weeks leading up to the game.
I agree, Hunter. They got sucker punched early on, and they got knocked around and bullied around. And I think they were surprised at everything they saw. And they mentioned it on the broadcast, and I know Chris did on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Kirby and Schumann and the staff were looking at themselves going, we have not seen any of this on tape, both defensively and offensively. And credit to their staff to adjust a little bit. But as Clint and Mick said earlier on, man, it was just flat out an amazing game plan on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried moving forward what Georgia did in the second half lays a blueprint for somebody else moving forward. But and I don't know if somebody moving forward has the playmakers that Georgia does. But wow, that was incredibly impressive. But not as impressive as Ryan Williams. But you know, is it safe to say that safe to assume that Kane walked his fanny right into the principal's office coming off the field tonight in that second half?
I felt like some of the problems that we had where you try to manage these big leads, and on offense we're like doing a lot of really like just running to the side. We probably should have ran the clock down more. Some of you guys have brought that up. I thought the same thing. It's you have these high powered offenses, and then you get a big ass lead, and it's like, what do we do with it?
That's right.
You know, it's not like when Alabama had Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson, and you're just going to hand the ball off to these dudes, and they're going to just like beat the hell out of you. I mean, it's just a different style of football. So you can get these big leads. This team's going to have to learn how to continue to play with the big lead. You don't want to make mistakes. I mean, look at our friends down on the plains. I mean, if there's a way to F it up, leave it to these guys. You know, all they got to do is run the damn ball, and they're going to win. But they throw a pick six, thank God, and it made my day.
Well, I will.
I tell you, I was sitting there looking at the halftime, or right there at the end of the first half, and taking notes, and I thought, man, he's sitting there saying, "What did they just do to get up 30 points before halftime?" I never did that.
Yeah, it was still impressive.
It's absolutely incredibly impressive. Absolutely, it was. I mean, just an incredibly impressive performance all night. Got to give credit to Georgia. They're a good football team, but boy, you know, a lot of speed on that Alabama defense too. But they're playing fast, but I don't know if they're playing right. But they'll get it figured out. Hey, Roll Tide, y'all have a good night.
Roll Tide up in Huntsville.
Hey, what I will say, I feel like a lot of the conservativeness, I think the problem was that it was conservative and was predictable. You know, what I will say is you could tell when they were trying to shorten the game, you're up 28-0. And then, of course, you know, obviously 28-7, and then you get up 30-7 in the second half, or excuse me, before halftime, you go into the second half up 30-7. It was all Jalen Milroe as far as them giving him the volume, running the football. I think they do an excellent job as far as attacking angles with the sidelines. All of their alley defenders that are coming up trying to make plays, it's very tough to time that with Jalen Milroe based off of what else they're giving you as far as, you know, if it's a zone read or whatever. A lot of it's design quarterback runs, but the conservative style, and I'll have to go back and look, and I could be completely wrong on this, but at one point, I started thinking to myself, I wish I'd been paying more to the second down stuff, because it felt like that it was a Jalen Milroe design quarterback run every second down, you know, for the entire third quarter. Whatever, you know, because a lot of what they were doing, it was like it would be like a run up the middle, then it's going to be a Jalen Milroe, you know, design quarterback run. And like I said, I'll be able to figure all this stuff out when I go back and watch the tape. But it does tell you how much they trust him in those moments. A lot of people, you know, a lot of coaches and stuff, they're going to trust their running backs. And when you've got two really good ones like Alabama has, you know, you could certainly have done that if you wanted to. But just Jalen Milroe and the strain that he puts on you as far as the +1 in the run game, Nick Saban talked about this morning, on game day. It's just it's extremely tough to defend. And that plays to your advantage. But I do feel like a lot of the conservativeness came from them understanding, okay, we've got two of the best running backs in the country. We have easily the best rushing quarterback in the country. Between those three guys, if we start, you know, if we continue to have our foot on the pedal and we start slowing this game down a little bit, and you start giving Georgia opportunities, and then people are going to say, you have the best, you know, rushing trio in college football. Why didn't you lean on those guys more in those moments? And so, you know, we'll second guess it because it didn't work. But if it does work, then no one questions it. I mean, but the goal at that point, when you've got that kind of lead, is to shorten the game as much as you possibly can. And going out there and throwing the football a ton, that's not going to do that. So Once again, Mick, it's like you said, they did that a little bit too much. They gave Carson Beck a lot of opportunities to really start to get going. Then Georgia captures the momentum. They take full advantage of it. And then Alabama ends up turning it on, retaking the lead, and that's that. But Carson Beck, to me, I was impressed with how he performed in the second half. But I also will say Alabama did kind of make it easy on him as far as giving him some of those opportunities. They were trying to keep things in front of him, give up some of those shorter passes. And then, of course, if you're catching the football and guys are rallying to the football, which I thought, especially in the first half, Alabama's defense did a phenomenal job playing that swarm defense. But, if you can continue to make tackles in bounds and stuff, you're running clock that way. So they were trying to do some of that. I think they got a little bit too conservative with it. But I'm not really – I think that's a learning experience, but that's not something that, as long as they don't continue to do that in those types of situations moving forward, I don't think it's a long-term problem. That's why I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah.
Jim Dunaway from the next round. Thanks for coming on with us, brother, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem. I'm going to go cut up some post-game sound, and we've been sending it out and all the videos. So all of our platforms at Next Round Live, at Cover Crimson, every week, tune into those to get pregame and postgame and during game moments from the stadium. And it was a rocking atmosphere tonight. And I love what you guys do here. I'm a subscriber, love at Cover Crimson. So love you guys.
Hey, come on back with us next week, Jim.
All right, buddy.
Jim, good
Anytime.
talking to you.
All right,
Clint.
thank you so much. All right, Clint, we lose Jim, but we add big sexy Elmo. Look at this guy right here in the flesh.
Hey, let me tell you something. I wanted to ask Jim about the Emmy that was sitting behind him. I mean, come on, guy. I mean, you had this Emmy sitting behind you. I mean, that's so cool. No, Mick, Roll Tide. I told you I was nervous about the game. I thought it was, and we texted back and forth and everything, but, it almost felt like, and I think you agree with this, at halftime, it felt like the comeback. You remember that in the Iron Bowl?
I do remember that. Bad memory.
I was still nervous. I thought we're either going to blow these guys out or something bad's about to happen. And I tell you, it's like you have to give credit to Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs because and Coach DeBoer too. Our game plan to begin the ball game was great, but I have to give credit to Kirby. The second half, he made the right adjustments. I mean, we got out coached and got outplayed in the second half.
Yeah, look, I felt like this, though, and you guys in the comments section keep cranking it up. I'm not planning on going anywhere for a while. So, I mean, if you guys want to hang out, thumbs up. That means Roll Tide. I know not all of you guys are Georgia fans. Great to have Jim Dunaway. I think that Clint Lamb's phone died, so I think that's why we lost him. So you got in just in the nick of time to hang out with us here.
There wasn't a Daniel Moore of me.
Yeah, they put
This
you
is
in
great
there.
in the comment section. Let's go. I've got a Daniel Moore of me.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
Yeah, tell them about your cameo and a Daniel Moore.
Oh, this is crazy. But yeah, the Clemson game where we won the national championship, where who was it? Dove for the goal line. Who was it?
It was Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake. I was standing on the sidelines, right in front of the cheerleaders, right in front of where that happened. And if they had to pick any picture, how could you miss this head? I mean, this head, I mean, and if you see it, you will see me. And Nick, you've seen it. You can't mistake this head. But no, I think, Kirby did a great job. I hope this is the last time we face him. they're not out of the playoff picture. Alabama obviously will, be one of the supreme leaders of the SEC right now. And we were talking about it off the air. I think the polls tomorrow will probably have Texas at 1, Bama at 2, Ohio State at 3, and Georgia at 4. That's I think that's but you know what? I also think, and I'm a realist, I think we're going to lose the game this year.
Look, I'm tired of everybody kind of acting like we're not going to win a national championship. I mean, nothing. I mean, the only thing that's changed is that we got the same great players. They have the same Nick Saban mentality, but they got a young coach that has a lot of very, very determined other coaches around them. There's a lot of continuity with this program right now.
But the thing is, Mick, winning a national championship and losing a game, 2 different things.
Well, now it is.
Yeah, a different era. I think, I'm trying to be, I'm an Alabama fan, and I loved what I saw tonight. But I think there's a loss somewhere.
Well, there might be, but
I think that this gives us a clear path. It gives us a really good path to the playoff.
It's a huge win. Dino Vine, man, thank you, man. Thank you. I'm here. You guys want to throw the super chats out? I don't have anywhere to go. I didn't even have a beer today. Had a few yesterday.
Wait a minute. No. Don't give me that. Don't give me that.
No.
No.
No, I know you are, but I didn't have any. Duke Johnson has committed to Bama per Hayes Fawcett. I love that, man. Good. I mean, last week was our buddy Caleb Cunningham was at Auburn. He didn't see what he wanted to see. You think he saw what he wanted to see today? Hey, there's our 17-year-old star.
No. I'm telling you. All the recruits that were at the field today, they saw an ass whipping. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just being blunt. We laid the wood to them in the first half. And I didn't know if it was going to continue or not. And Mick, you and I, we talked at halftime. And I said, what are we seeing here? I said, I can't believe this.
Right.
And it was either going to be a blowout or a comeback. It felt like, for a little time, it felt like that comeback for the Iron Bowl.
Man, I'm never that worried about it. I think that you learn a lesson from this. Our offense is a lot better now than it was when the comeback happened. This is a different type of style.
Yeah, and you're right, Mick. And what it impresses me is we persevered.
Yeah, look, and I'm not taking a shot at McElroy, but I mean he's half the quarterback of Jalen Milroe. I mean, you talk about the bombs that he can throw, and you talk about his running ability. Like Alabama needed a nudge. Georgia called a lot of breaks in the second half. They got some penalties on fourth downs. They got 5 for 5 on fourth down. They're a good team. I mean, they're a great team. They're definitely worthy of feeling good about a win because they're really good. What happened to Kendrick Law? Said a lower body injury was what Coach DeBoer said in the post game.
That's unfortunate.
I wanted to address some of these right here. 2 Strike, he says, y'all are delusional fans. We have loads of talent with subpar offensive and defensive coordinators. I was wondering, is it delusional fans? Like, is he a Georgia guy talking about us Alabama fans being delusional, or is he an Alabama fan? Because if I looked at this and said, this is a Georgia fan, because we have had to endure them in the comment section all week, which I invite them to come in. I'm glad that they got the lead just so that we could reach right through their rib cage and pull their heart out. And then, and just kind of like get it real tight and put the blood in and then drink it. It was great. Like I guess to me, I didn't feel like it was the comeback. I thought we were going to win at the end. Oh, and we won at the end. Sorry.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
thought it was
and
weird finish.
Look, I was pleased how we finished. I mean, I was so happy about that because that I thought this is where we become, it. Are we for real?
Yeah.
And when we came back, they scored with what? 2 minutes to go in the ball game, 2:11, 2:13, whatever. And then come down and strike again and absolutely bury them in the dirt. And the defense stood up. This is a team that played really well. And we talked about it, Mick, on the Daily Show. Both teams are coming off bye weeks.
Right.
I wanted to see how DeBoer would respond to, the bye week. And then we have, second-ranked Georgia coming in. We got game day here.
Mm-hmm.
We got Saban back on the field and Miss Terry with game day. We got a former president in the stands. We got everything.
Kid Rock.
Kid
Hank was
Rock.
there.
John Daly. Hank Jr. I mean, all these people were
Bocephus.
there.
Did you see Bocephus?
I saw Bocephus.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, he handled this so well. And it was funny to me to see Coach Saban when they did the shots in the press box in his suite. He wasn't showing much emotion, but I thought he's loving this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really did. And he has to be unbiased, and I know that.
Yeah.
With his role on game day. But I think he really loved this ass whipping.
I think that what Alabama's got to do next is that this coaching staff, they just got to realize that you're going to have to keep the gas on, and you're going to have to take some risks. And I am vicious and bloodthirsty. I did love that. Anytime we beat Georgia. I mean, listen, Bama Charlie, if you go back and read all the Georgia fans' comments, I mean, you would have thought that they beat Alabama. You would have thought that they beat Alabama all these times. It was like the other way around. Oh, it was like we've won 1 and they've won 6 or 5 up until then, But these guys are going to get better. Coaches are going to get better. They're going to know the personnel. That they got a lot of freshmen. Everybody's talking about it. Freshmen making plays, and doing stuff out there. There's one right there. My nephew. Yeah, he is like Lamar, except I think in a way, I just think he's a better passer. And I saw where some of you guys were talking about his mid-range passing game got better. Milroe's gotten better. He showed it tonight. When they send the game plan into him. I mean, he doesn't call the plays. I mean, he does if it's an RPO. I think he was a victim of we're going to dial it back here because we got this big lead.
Well, the thing is, Alabama has owned Georgia. All right. I was at the game in Indianapolis, for the national championship. We lost that ball game, but the last time before that Georgia won was in Tuscaloosa in 2007.
Yeah, I knew it had been a while, right? When's it?
26,
I was at that
23. I think I was at that game too. Georgia won like 3 in a row there in the 2000s.
Right.
2002, 2003, 2007. But ever since then, Alabama has owned them. And Alabama has owned them in the history of the program. So,
Yeah, let's talk some stats, man. We really haven't gone through a lot of the stats. Thundar, though, brother, I appreciate you. And the super chat, Georgia's Axtris, their win streak ends on Saban Field. Yeah, that's true. They lost on Saban Field. All their win streaks come to an end when they play Alabama, and that's just the way it is. But great to see you, Thundar, and appreciate you and all you guys for hanging out with us. DK, I am with you on this one right here. Ryan Williams is the most athletically gifted player I've seen at Alabama, bar none, for a guy that's 17 years old and has played 4 games. And I thought, well, this is going to be the game. Malachi Starks and all these guys are going to shut him down. No, he runs with all of them. He is a phenom. He really is a phenom. All right, Brett, I'm going to run through some stats here. Milroe versus Carson.
Look at this. Look at this.
What's that? Yeah, it was. It was like a night at the booby trap. Thank you, Dickie. I appreciate that.
Someone told me that someone bought it.
I was scoffing.
I was trying to talk some investors into to buying it and let me and Mick, run it.
I ran into Tony Curry, radio legend, and at the
Tony's a great guy.
tournament. Yeah, at the Striker Strong golf tournament. He's in our group. Great guy. And he said that one of his friends was talking to him about buying the booby trap.
Are you serious?
I swear. He was like, "Are you familiar?" And I'm like thinking he's never watched our show before.
You know what Tony used to call me?
What's
when
that?
We were in the middle of Big B. Big B. Go, Big B.
Yeah, he's fun, dude.
He's a great guy.
Let me throw the stats up for you guys too. We'll kind of look at them together. All right, let's just start with the quarterbacks. You got Milroe, 27-33. A couple of those passes were dropped. They weren't all perfect, but I'll tell you what, he's gotten a lot better at the short term. The mid-range pass, I thought it was his best game doing that as Alabama's quarterback, 374 yards. The interception was on a deflection, 2 touchdowns. On the ground again, a brilliant day. So here's another 4-touchdown game for Milroe, right? 2 running, 2 passing, 16 carries, 117 yards. He had that 4th down run where he took it to the house, tight roped the sideline. That was a 36-yarder. And Carson Beck didn't have a great day. 27-50, did have 439 yards, threw 3 interceptions, threw 3 touchdowns. But you know what? Both guys are good, man. I mean, like it's not like I'm looking at Carson Beck going, "Hey, this guy stinks." I'm looking at him going, "Hey, this guy's really good too." But he was okay. Running backs. I still don't feel like Bama is totally utilizing the running game yet. I just don't feel like they've, and maybe it was part of their game plan today, but Haynes had 6 carries for 35 yards and Jam Miller had 5 carries for 8 yards. So that to me isn't effective, right? ETN had 12 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown. Bell had 2 carries, 9 yards and a touchdown. It's not like Georgia ran the ball better than Alabama. With Milroe, Bama ran it for 173 yards and Georgia was under 80, or excuse me, at 80. So under 100 yards on the ground. So that's a win for Alabama. That's why they won the football game. They ran better than Georgia. Now, receiving wise, Smith, 6 catches, 132 and a touchdown for Georgia. Bell had some big plays too, 5 catches, 100 yards. So I guess that these guys are kind of going to break out now as the new go-to guys for Georgia, because we really weren't sure coming in after McConkey and Bowers were gone. But on the Alabama side of things, it was one of the most impressive nights I can ever remember for a wide receiver at Alabama. 6 amazing catches, 177 yards, a touchdown, but the 75-yard touchdown at the end of the game is going to be one of the great catches and runs in the history of Alabama football. I'm sorry, guys, it is. And I think that would make a great Daniel Moore print. Hollywood.
I think that, the first half, I think we ran the ball fairly well. Second half, yeah, it wasn't very good, So,
Well, how much of that do you think is the game plan? Like, did
you know what?
Real conservative?
You know what? I think that we talked about this. I think we held back a lot. Now, some of these trick-ration plays that we tried to run.
I loved them.
You loved them. Okay,
yes.
I didn't.
You know why? Because it shows you. That shows you that you better pay attention, because we'll do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, but I don't want it to seem like desperation, because Alabama's not desperate to win.
All right, let me ask you a question. 2015, why did Alabama win the national championship? Because they did a trick play, the onside kick that Humphreys caught.
That's not a trick play.
It was definitely a trick play. And
that's a smart play.
That's
no,
it.
No. The thing is, I don't want to seem desperate to beat anybody. Some of the shit we ran was, I was looking at it. I'm sorry.
We ran a screen pass, which I've been crying about for years. They didn't do it very smoothly. I was glad that they did it. Those are good plays.
It was kind of cringy to me because when they didn't work, it was like, I was like, I don't like this look, we're ahead, but I love Coach DeBoer. I love his offensive plan. I think we held some stuff back until this game, but I still think that, we jumped on them. I still think that, I think we got out coached in the second half. I just feel that way. I felt like the momentum went in the second half. And I think Kirby went in and made the right adjustments, and that's something we got to work on.
SMU ran Florida State off the field 42-16. I know it's been a tough week.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but I know it's been a tough week in Tallahassee with the tornado. I mean, the hurricane and everything. So, but wow, they're off to a there it is right there, Iceman. They're off to a terrible start.
All right, now what would have happened if we would have hired that guy?
Hey, this is pretty funny. Talking about Mike Griffith, the Georgia super fan that kind of does what we do. I can't wait to hear their spin on everything. On the game. I wish we would have just put our foot on in the third quarter and thrown all over them some more. I mean, really.
But look, what Coach DeBoer said during game day was also something very telling. He said, we're still improving.
Yeah, right.
Today is the day, and we want to win the day. And at the end of the day, we won the day.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to get better and better and better. And, the nation has to be on notice.
Yeah. And Andrew.
You know what I'm saying? Because, do I think we may take a loss somewhere? The SEC is so hard to predict. You look at what happened at Ole Miss today. Kentucky actually should have beaten Georgia and Ole Miss.
That's right.
The SEC is tough. It's we still got Tennessee. We still have LSU. We still got to play Missouri on the road. And Missouri is a team that, I was talking to you about, on this show a lot of times. You know, it's like they're going to slip up and they're going to beat somebody. I don't know who it's going to be.
You and your Missouri.
Yeah, I know, but I'm telling you, it's sort of like Kentucky. They're going to slip up. They're going to beat somebody. Now, Auburn, I felt sorry for them. I texted all my Auburn buddies today and said, please, just stay calm. It'll be okay.
Listen, did you hear what I said about Auburn?
What was it?
You ready?
That's actually what I said to you too.
You guys did it again. I'll tell you what I love is when Auburn, like last year's Iron Bowl, like they're all ready, they're gonna run out on the field. They were licking their chops. And they blew it again. Like you talk about losing a game the way that they lose games, man. All right.
Oh, that's pitiful. I mean, absolutely. I don't mean to pivot here, but I watched that game and I was looking at it. I was like, yeah, I said Auburn about to beat Oklahoma. That'd be a good win for them. And then they just absolutely blow it.
Oh man.
And I'm like,
they shit down their leg.
And I was like, hell, at least I'm not an Auburn fan. I mean, we could lose the game tonight, but I was like, at least I'm not an Auburn fan. And then my Auburn friends were rolling back into town toward the end of the game, and they rolled in, and they were like, oh, y'all about to win. And I was like, yeah.
Hey, super chats. Thank you guys. Thundar wants to know best spin move, Ryan Williams or Eddie Lacy. It's Eddie was called, what was it? Circle button, right? Because of the PlayStation circle button.
Yeah.
I loved Eddie Lacy. I was thinking about that with Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams more like the Matrix, man. I mean, it is gravity defying stuff that this guy does. Amazing.
Hey, and I want to say hello to Athens, Alabama. My Jasper Vikings went up there and got beat last week. I was in the press box for it, and y'all laid a whooping to us. But anyway, congratulations to y'all. But no, spin move. Hey, let me tell you something. Those Xbox circles and X's, I don't even know anymore. I've gotten older now, so I can't remember which one was the spin move.
Okay,
but it was the
Dynavine, thank you for the super chat. Thank all of you guys, by the way. We're going overtime for you today. Thank you, man. It goes a long way on the channels. We really appreciate it. And make sure that you guys take some of that cash and put it on Cover Crimson, covercrimson.com. Be part of what we're doing. If you get the annual subscription, you can rock one of these shirts. And then or you can try it for $1 right now. Here's a stat. Kirby took that visor off about 4 times. Bro was cooked. Kirby, look, I like Kirby. I really do. And he's a great coach. But he's got the perfect head for a Georgia fan. Like that big-ass visor that they wear. You know what I mean? Like they're not normal-size visors. Like those are some big-ass visors, and it fits his head. And, I mean, he's kind of like he's like the mascot for Georgia, too.
Don't talk about big heads. Look at this chat.
So is this you?
Look at this guy.
Yeah, that's Dickie. So like when we do the
this is the original Bama tailgate show.
It's this guy. It's
Yeah.
Elmo. It's Elmo. And look, here's an Elmo super chat right here. Thank you so much. Is that K Duty? Kadudi. Kadudi. Thank you. and it's about your best friend, Kalen DeBoer. Hey, Kalen DeBoer is 1-0 when he comes on the Bama
Hey,
tailgate.
he's my new best friend. I need to call him and meet him at the Waffle House. You look, it's 12:40 a.m. I could get to Tuscaloosa from Jasper here in about an hour. Let's all meet up and have an all-star breakfast.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great.
I mean, what's your go-to? I mean, look, Mick, you've been doing this. You've been going for like 2 hours.
I'm in. Look,
I mean,
maybe you're saying I've earned a breakfast.
I,
Have you ever gotten the steak?
Steak and eggs used to be now pre-COVID because they took the steak and eggs off for a while. They changed it off. But anyway, I think they have the steak and eggs now. I mean, I don't know. When I get off here, I may go see. You just meet me in Jasper, and we'll go to the Waffle House on Highway 78.
Some team stats in case you guys missed it. Georgia 25 first downs, Bama 21. Both teams struggled third down. And this is the first time this year that Bama struggled on third downs. 3 of 11 for Bama. Georgia was only 3 of 15. But where Georgia stayed in the game is they were 5 of 5 on fourth downs. They got some luck in there, and then they made some big plays. Bama was 1 of 2. Total yards, 547 for the Tide, 519 for Georgia. Georgia passed for 439 yards, Bama 374. And Bama's averaging 11 yards plus per pass, and Georgia just under 9. Rushing, Bama outrushed them 173 to 80. 4 turnovers for Georgia, 1 for Alabama. So here were my keys to the game. I said turnovers, third down efficiency, and then scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Honestly, both teams did a good job of all of it. It came down to the turnovers. Third downs were about the same. Both teams scored touchdowns. They didn't have to kick field goals, but Bama was a 4-1 winner in the turnover ratio, and the one at the end of the game sealed the deal. So what a great way. Xavier Brown with the interception at the end, and the freshman doing it today.
It was a great win. I mean, anytime you can beat Georgia, I was worried about the game coming in, and we'd talked about it before the game. I was worried about it, but this is a big win. This is a big win for Coach DeBoer in front of, a capacity crowd, a sold-out crowd, in front of Coach Saban, in front of all the dignitaries there, celebrities, everything else, and most importantly, the recruits that were there. This is a big win. And, I don't know, is it the biggest win he's ever had? I don't know. But it's right up there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a big, big win. And it propels us into next week. And we got to go to Vanderbilt, And you and I will be at Live Oak. And looking forward to that.
Music Row. We're going to Music Row for our tailgate show next week.
Hey, let me tell you something. We're going to Music Row, and this might be the only time you get to see me live and in person, and I'll be strutting down Music Row.
Can't wait to see. It's gonna be fun, man. We'll do the tailgate show Friday from 1 to 3. So swing by and see us. Here's Hayes Fawcett from the great people at On 3. Daryl Duke Johnson shut down his recruitment. I found my home. I love it here. I'm 100% locked in, shutting down my recruitment. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Hey, come on, man. We were counting you in. But now we're really counting you in, Duke. And that I think we're going to see more of that. Don't be surprised if some of these guys, the Antonio Colemans and the, Robert Smiths or whatever, don't look in the mirror and go, I don't want to go down there and take the ass whooping down on the Plains. Not when I can go to Tuscaloosa and win championships. Not when I can go to Tuscaloosa and play in the big games.
Let me tell you something. Auburn has got a lot of problems. This is going to be a dumpster fire down there. The Auburn fans are calling.
I'm sorry. That's it. Clint Eastwood. That's a pretty. This guy was nervous, a lot more nervous than me.
Yeah, that's true. But the Auburn thing, this is a dumpster fire. And I'm telling you, the heat on that seat will melt that freeze, as in the American Dream Dusty Roads.
Mm-hmm. I'm just scrolling through your
my comments and everything.
Yeah, just going through the comments. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I got another super chat here. Hold on.
Do you think that seat is so hot that it's melting the freeze? I mean,
you're talking about that, yeah. I think, but they can't afford to do anything about it.
That's the thing.
They're paying Hartson, and they're paying the other guy. They should have just left the other guy in there. The guy that's in Central Florida. What's his name?
Gus.
The Gus bus. They should have just left the Gus bus in there. And so they're stuck. I mean, I think Freeze. Look, if you talk about like finding a way to lose interestingly, he's good at it. Hey, my drink of choice, Dino Vine. Thank you, man. I can't wait. I got. Where's my? Hold on.
Oh yeah. Well, look at this guy. He's got a bar in his studio.
Yay! We were giving these out at Innisfree last night. Some Screwball peanut butter whiskey banners. I had. I'll tell you what, man. I appreciate that, and I will definitely, and I'll get Elmo a drink too. On you, Divine. So. I know.
Hey, let me tell you something. I yesterday, during the tailgate show, I've had some of that peanut butter Screwball. It's pretty good.
Did you see us? We had the shot ski. Did you see that?
Yeah, the shot ski. Now, what killed me was, what in the hell is this quarterback from Alabama doing on the show? And he doesn't even know what a shot ski is.
Did you hear him? He was like, a Coker. He was like, I don't know about this.
He was looking. He was like, what is this? He's like, what is this? And you were the professional. He was like, you was you were setting them up and everything. And then he was like, what do I do? And I was like, oh man, quit being lame. I can't wait to see him in Nashville.
I know it's gonna be fun, man. Here's a good one right here, James. One of our regulars. Roll Tide, Mick and Elmo. Milroe better recover from this great emotional hold on win. Because I don't think Vandy's going to be a gotcha game, but you never know. You never know. I think that this was. I don't put this on Milroe. I put this on the play calling. And then all of a sudden the defense was out there for a lot of plays, and it's hard the way that they've got football designed now, where you get your defense out there, you get them gassed. And bad things happen. Georgia caught some breaks. They were underthrowing a lot of balls. Guys were coming back and making plays. But I really feel like this was more. I'm not putting any of this on Milroe. I thought Milroe played a hell of a game. I think that he's the most dangerous man in college football. I love the way that he runs. I love the way that he throws. He's getting better at the intermediate. He's tough as hell, man. I mean, he stands in that pocket, but he's starting to get a much better pocket presence. I thought the offensive line did a good job today, giving him time. Parker Brailsford has got his back. He's not snapping the ball over the damn guy's head all the time. You know what I mean? Like, we saw this offense click against maybe the best defense in the country. And I know it was only for a half and then at the end of the game. But when Alabama was attacking and doing what they needed to do, Georgia looked like Vanderbilt. Sorry.
That's true. I mean, no, I have to agree with you on that. Do you get prepared for a letdown this week? I don't think so. I mean, Vanderbilt, look, I mean, no disrespect, but it's Vanderbilt, come on. Give me a break. I mean,
fun up there.
It's going to be, Alabama will have more fans there than Vanderbilt will.
They will. We'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there, and look forward to seeing everybody there. And Nashville will be packed with Alabama fans. It's a destination game.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the best, really and truly, Mick. Probably one of the best destination games in the SEC.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to take it down the Broadway?
Of course I will. You know that.
I figured that. You're on Broadway.
I mean, you coming with me, right? I mean, we've talked about it.
I couldn't let you go by yourself. Well, I like live. You don't think I like live music? You don't think I like a cold beer? Like, I don't want maybe like a good old fashioned.
Look.
And now look at all this money we got here.
In the comments section, let me know if you think Mick and I will get in trouble in Nashville. I mean, let me tell you something. I may be 41 years old, but I know how to roll.
Okay, you know how to roll.
And Mick's a whole lot older than
I am. No, I'm not.
I've got to keep him up. I've got to keep him up.
Hey, thank you for the super chat here, Mick. Do you think those guys wanted that Twitter troll lane as coach will finally shut up now? What a clown loses to Kentucky. I honestly, man, I was watching that game, and you guys know I'm not a Lane Kiffin fan. I think he cost us the 2016 championship. We'd have won it if he would have just been like Kirby. For you Georgia fans that are out there, that's why I like Kirby. Got a lot of respect for him. Guy does things the right way. You don't see Georgia's not, watch that game. Ole Miss players are faking injuries, and it's so obvious. That stuff, I don't see that stuff happen when Alabama and Georgia play. It's just good football. It's good football. There's no cheap shots. Guys aren't doing dumb shit. They're just going out there and playing their asses off. And if you love the game of football, watching Alabama and Georgia go head to head is as good as it gets. And that's why the games have been memorable. Because they are great. I'm watching that Kentucky game and I'm watching the Ole Miss guys roll over on the ground, because they want to stop Kentucky. But Lane Kiffin, when he was at Alabama, he's the only coach that didn't think about all these guys that stuck around to try to help Alabama win. This guy was too busy worried about himself and not worried about his team that they had to get rid of him. That's the truth. Okay. That's why he didn't finish the season. That's why, and he's such a good coordinator and he's so good at offense. If Alabama would have had him, they would have beaten Clemson. They were running them down the field with no offensive coordinator. And if they would have had Lane there and Lane would have been locked in, they would have won. But he's selfish. Maybe he's changed now. I don't know. So bottom line is this, I think it's hilarious. I'm wondering if Lane's already working on going to Florida when he's got this team that's so good at Ole Miss, maybe one of the great Ole Miss teams, and watching them lose. Now, the funny part about it was it's 4th down and Kentucky didn't go for it last week against Georgia 2 weeks ago. Remember? They punted the ball and lost by a point. And their fans were like, what the hell are we doing? So they go for it on 4th down. The guy does like a run. He just runs down the field and they throw the ball to him, makes a great catch, and they win the damn game because of it. It's like a go route. So I don't know. I thought it was a great win for Kentucky. Mark Stoops, Coker actually played for both guys. He loves Mark Stoops. He was the defensive coordinator at Florida State when he was there, and he played with Lane Kiffin when he was at Alabama.
I like Mark Stoops. After losing.
Look at this. You ask and you shall receive, man. Roll Tide, Donovan.
All right.
We will enjoy Nashville.
In Nashville, that'll probably buy us. I don't know if we go to the right bar. May buy us several of them.
I'm a dive bar guy, man. You know that. I don't have to go to the, we're going to be at live places like the Pie Factory. I'm a Floribama guy.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm a Floribama guy. I was Harry's bar.
Excuse me. That is the premier bar on the Gulf Coast. I'm sorry.
It's a
that
dive
I don't
bar.
live
Beers are like
in
$6
Fairhope and
get out of here.
And can get to the Floribama.
Unbelievable.
Did you? Hey,
you're the only person I know that drinks their beer with their pinky off of it.
I've always done that. I don't know what it is about it, but
I'm just kidding.
But no. Have you ever, Mick? Look at me. Those bras that are, in the Floribama. Have you ever seen who that came off of?
I've been there a few times. I have. Hey, can I throw this chat up as you guys hang out with us? I mean, we're in overtime right now. And if you want us to stick around, I need thumbs up. Even if you're a Georgia fan, I just gave your program even though we beat you again, I gave your program 2 thumbs up for doing it the right way.
Hey, let me tell you something.
A lot of respect, Kirby. But here's the one. Where's the one? I gotta find it here. I just saw it. There's one really, really good comment.
Check your man card. Give me a break. Bossa Nova, dude.
There it is. That's the one.
Oh. And now I like Bossa Nova, dude, now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like,
Al's right. Too many penalties on 4th down. I thought that too.
Yeah.
I thought that once our defense got tired and they were out there a long time, we stopped getting the pressure on Carson Beck, and he kind of just started to get into a groove.
Yeah, the penalties are the thing that that's what pisses me off more than anything. And I texted you, I think, during the first quarter. And I said, these penalties, I think the first drive, what did we have? Like 3 penalties?
Yeah.
On the first drive?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and it was the same stuff as last year. Undisciplined football.
Well, young players, though, too, man.
Yeah, I know that. But last year.
I'm watching the replay of the Ryan Williams catch, by the way. Un-effing believable.
What killed me last year was, the Saban team that was so, they had so many penalties. It just seemed like they were not, not with it,
Mm-hmm. I'm watching Brown intercepted again.
And that killed me.
What a catch. He snatched it away from that Georgia guy at the end. Lord, I have to go to sleep. Yeah, I know, but we're up. This is the night shift. It's 1 and we're still rolling.
I'm like Lionel Richie. I'm working the night shift with the Commodores. Mick, I didn't even ask you if I could be on the show. You just said, I just showed up.
Yeah, I like that. You don't have to tell anybody trade secrets. It was great. Clint's battery died, so that's why he disappeared.
Clint's battery died, so that's why I'm on the show.
You had good battery, and he had no battery. But
Well,
I thought Clint did a really good job, and Jim Dunaway a really good job of
Elmo looks like a Viking. I am. I'm a Jasper Viking. Yeah.
See, here's the thing, man.
Tuesday, I'm going to get the haircut, get the shave for Nashville, because Mick, I got to look good when I go up there. I got to meet everybody, and if they want to kiss me on the cheek, then they don't want a hair.
The funny thing is, like, people like we get on, and right away people were like, "Where's BSE?" When you get to the point where you get your own, like, your initials, right? Where you're just like, "Hey, where's BSE at?" Okay, sexy Elmo.
I want the cover crimson shirt. Look, I was supposed to get one with a subscription. Where in the hell was that at?
Oh man,
they didn't. Don't even say it, Mick.
Have a shot. I if I had a bottle of anything,
you got Screwball right
half
there.
a gallon of Screwball, but I don't have.
Get the Screwball, Mick.
I don't want to open it yet because I might have to
be
take
a pansy. Go get the Screwball right now. Everybody, get on his ass. Screwball. Do 2 shots. 2 shots of Screwball. Let's go.
Oh man, that would be
Come
so
on,
fun.
let's go. Come on.
I need you to hang. If you need to run the show, so I can go inside real quick to my other bar, my whiskey bar, which is inside. Did you think? Hey, Sam said that the refs were horrible. Did you think that the refs were horrible? I thought they were okay.
I thought they. I thought they were pretty bad. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought.
Robbie said he thought that there were some bad calls as well.
Yeah.
He was up in the student section. Robbie was in the student section.
Oh,
I've watched a lot of games in that student section, but I always tried to be on the lower student section, not the upper student section. But I'll take what I can get, Yeah, here's one right here. Terrible call right at the end of the half. That was a momentum killer, because I think Alabama was going in for another score right there.
I did too. Yeah. And I thought, and it's sort of like the comeback. I said, we need one more score.
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
Because
Here's one. This is what I was thinking right here. Nick said, everyone talks about Ryan should be in high school, but after tonight, I think people should be talking about him being in the NFL. I was thinking about that too. And I don't know what the difference is. Oh, look at that. Another call for a shot. That's coming.
Come on, go get a shot now.
College.
You've got to do it now, Mick.
All right, just wait.
Hell, here we are. We're at 1:00 in the morning on a now Sunday morning.
Steve says that the refs are terrible. You you run the ship here, and I'll
run this ship, and we're going to talk sports here.
But you chew on this with Mr. Wonderful. Not a fan of the trick plays at the end of the half. I like the trick plays. You didn't like the trick plays.
Okay, all right, yeah, no,
I'll go get my.
Look, I'll handle it. It'll be all right. Mick doesn't trust me. Mick never trusts me, and it's okay. I know y'all trust me. No, the refs. I don't think it was a ref problem. I do think that we were guilty of a lot of the penalties in that ball game. That's where we're, holding. That's where we're holding back. I think that we're committing too many penalties. We clean that up, and Alabama's got a good football team. I love these comments. Let me tell you something. I love y'all. I I love these comments. Oh yeah, it's what the refs don't call. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. Um, but the bottom line is, regardless of the calls, whether it's in our favor or in Georgia's favor, we still won the ball game. We found a way to win. And, that's what I'm most proud of about this team. We got off to a very fast start. And like I was talking earlier in the show, halftime, it felt like the comeback. That was my first Iron Bowl. That was the first Iron Bowl I had ever been to and covered professionally. And I remember going out at halftime and thinking, this game's not over. And talking to a lot of people, the game was not over, and it showed at the very end of the game. Now, I have to give Kirby Smart a lot of credit. I have a lot of respect for him. I know Coach Saban does, and the whole 9 yards. But his second half game plan, his adjustments were really good, and that got him back in the ball game. And so that's what we, oh boy, here he is.
All right, you guys ask and you shall receive. But here's what I want from you guys. First off, thank you guys with the super chats. The other thing is, please be part of covercrimson.com, man. Be part of what we're doing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and Clint's going to break down the games like nobody else can. He's going to look at every single snap, third downs, all that stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, here we go. That's my small. I got this right here, little Kahlua. This is a dessert. This is a dessert drink. Ooh. Have you ever had Kahlua before?
Yeah, I've had Kahlua before.
What I don't even know what this is called.
I remember when I was a pansy, I drank one. Oh, I'm just kidding, Mick. He looks like he's pissed off. Look at him.
I'm not. I'm making a drink. I'm making a shot for you guys. For
oh my God,
Donovan, for the super chats, to celebrate a win over Georgia.
Hey Mick, cheers.
Cheers to all you guys. Roll Tide, everybody. Here you go. This is for you.
Cheers.
Woo. Oh God. Thank you. And thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. I mean, we were sweating it out at the end. I was sitting next to my buddy Bricken in the Tennessee-Alabama game in 2009. And I just didn't think Tennessee was going to beat us. Roll Tide, James. Roll Tide, man. Roll Tide. Thank you, Donovan. Thank you. And I remember he looked at me and he's like, hey, man. He goes, I don't think you understand the severity of the situation. I didn't think we were going to lose. And obviously, Terrence Cody had the block, Rocky block. I don't even know what you call this game. But it was amazing. Hollywood, right? A dub. Exactly. I call it a dub. But man, I can't believe it. And look, I want to talk about this too. DeBoer's 107-12. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, you got to admit that, Brett.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, 12 losses. Give me a break, man. I mean, 12 losses. in his entire coaching career. That's impressive.
I think he'll learn from this game too. I think that he'll learn from it, and I think they'll be a little more aggressive. All right, here's one from Sam. I watched the tailgate show from yesterday, and I can say that you was a little loose with the peanut butter whiskey shots. You and Coker had me cracking up. We did.
Y'all,
we had fun. The tailgate show was fun.
Let me give you a little backstage information. I'm supposed to be the one producing the show. And Mick is absolutely giving me hell yesterday during the tailgate show because nothing was going as planned.
No,
it was crowded, and Innisfree was packed, but we're both, believe it or not, we're both professionals. So we pulled it off, but everything was good on the radio side. But Lord,
that's right, Steve. Excuses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and next week, please, if you plan to join us, I would love to see you at Live Oak.
You know what's cool is that the show got over, and I saw Jake signing like autographs on these Daniel Moore prints for everybody. These little 8x10 Daniel Moore prints.
Yeah,
he's such a good. He really is a great dude. Like, forget about just that we work together and we hang out and stuff. Like, sometimes you hang out with people and you're like, you know what? He's okay guy or whatever. He really is a great guy. The most unassuming championship quarterback you could ever meet. So, really like him, man. Really like him.
I don't know what
Kirby got a new stepdad today.
Yeah, he did. Oh, what do you think he's thinking going on the plane back to Georgia tonight?
I think, I honestly, with the way that college football is now, it's not that big a deal. You go on the road. You know what? His team showed a lot of heart, man. I mean, you got to give them credit. Like, they showed a lot of fucking heart. Like, they could have given up. They could have rolled over. You know, how many times are you down 30 and you come back and take the lead late? You know?
Yeah. No, and really and truly, the Georgia fans, I know there's some on the chats and everything. They don't need anything to hold their head down about. I mean, they got beat by a pretty good football team.
Here's what I say.
But here's the thing.
Hold on. I want to add to your thought. Okay, just hold it right there. They got spanked by daddy. That's it. And they're used to it. You know, like, they go do what you do, but they just got what they've always gotten. Spanked by daddy. Still the little guy looking up at the big guy. And this is like what Randall's saying. That we have we stop with the new standard bullshit. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Do you think this will be the
Steve right here? Is it? Are they really 1-9 in their last 10 games against Alabama?
They are.
They're 1-6.
Hold on, I've got it pulled up.
It's got to be. It's got to be because they were losing to Alabama with Mark Richt too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're 9-1. 9-1 in the last ball games. Alabama's 9-1.
Yeah, Alabama's 9-1.
Yeah, no, that's correct. It dates back to 2008.
Here's one right here. Jim, this was something Jim Dunaway said. So if I'm Kirby, I feel good about my chances later this year because on a play-by-play basis, they look just as good in every aspect of the game, but they were off an inch here and an inch there. See, I'll tell you this. Coming into this game, all we heard about was they were going to get revenge for the SEC championship game. And Milrose said that he saw the quit in their eye. And I'll tell you what, he can't say that this year because they didn't quit. But they lost again. And I feel like Alabama's just a better team. I think Alabama is just better. Once the secondary grows up a little bit more, Bama's just going to be tougher, man.
All right, let me ask you this. Let's take a look at the schedule.
Better late than never, Nicholas. Roll Tide, brother. Sorry.
Let's take a look at the schedule.
Shot. Does it mean I have to do another shot?
Yeah, do another shot, Mick. Come on.
I'll do one more. I'll do one more.
Go ahead. Come on.
I'll do
Here,
it.
come on. Do another shot. Here we go. Hey.
All right, make your point.
All right. No, the point is, we look at the remaining schedule. We got Vanderbilt. We got South Carolina. We got Tennessee, Missouri, LSU.
Some tough games.
All right. Let's throw Vanderbilt and South Carolina out the window.
Okay.
All right. Let's throw that out. Tennessee.
It's going to be a tough game.
Missouri, LSU. All right. Now,
Dino Vine, man, right back at you.
If you think that we're going to lose a ball game, I don't think we're going to lose to Mercer, Oklahoma, or Auburn. I think they all suck. I mean, and maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong. But if I see a loss, I see it coming in this string of Tennessee, Missouri, LSU. Who do you think would be the one that beats Alabama?
Man, the Tennessee game is going to be really tough. It's going to be at Neyland. They beat us there last time. It was like a huge world event there, and I think they felt like they should have won last year. I think that's going to be a really tough. They're good. That's going to be a tough game for us. LSU's not a bad team. It's going to be a tough game. I would probably put Tennessee at number 1 and then maybe LSU at number 2. They've beaten us recently. I feel really confident about Vanderbilt, South Carolina. I don't think Missouri's that good. I know you do. Mercer's not any good. And then the Iron Bowl is the Iron Bowl. I mean, look, Auburn.
Yeah, no.
This is normally their ass whoop year. I mean, like when they come to Tuscaloosa, it's normally when they take the ass whoop. They don't
Right.
play that
But
good.
no, I'm throwing those games away. I'm talking about between the three, who would be the most likely to beat Alabama?
That's it. Tennessee 1 and LSU 2 probably. And then Oklahoma 3. I mean, they're road games, man. I mean, like you know.
So you're taking Missouri completely out of this.
I think Missouri sucks. You heard me say it. I've said it before. I'm not buying into their hype.
No, we don't. We don't agree on that.
I just don't think they're any good. I think they're Missouri.
I think it's a trap game. I think it's a trap between Tennessee and LSU. Look, those are our two biggest rivals.
This is how I feel about it. So I had some guys slide in on my stuff, and he's like, Mick, there goes Mick talking about the refs again. The Tennessee the Tennessee officiating, the year we lost there was the worst ever. I mean, it made me change my opinion on me not trusting the officiating. Man, I just don't believe it anymore. I don't know.
everybody's wanting to jump on Missouri, but I'm telling you, they're like Kentucky. They're going to beat somebody.
They're going to beat somebody.
They're going to beat somebody they're not supposed to beat. I'm telling you.
Okay. Let's go through the scores before we. Oh, you know what? We didn't do game balls too. So let's start with let's do our game balls, and then we'll look at other scores before we get out of here. All right, game balls. Offense.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Game balls. Let's give a game ball away.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
Where you pick your player of the game. All right, on offense, who's your player of the game?
Milroe.
So Milroe, yeah, look, offensive, running and throwing, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT on a deflection. He had a great game and led the way. Mine's Ryan Williams, one of the most electrifying nights for a wide receiver that I can remember Bama having. And on top of that, these are memorable plays. Smitty won the Heisman, and remember his Heisman moment was that high point that he had against LSU in the corner of the end zone of a blowout. This is Georgia, who hasn't lost in 42 regular season games. We blow a 30-point lead. This guy, throw the ball up to him. He makes the most miraculous move after catch. 2 of Georgia's number 1 defensive guys run into each other. To the house he goes, and we win the game. The roof blew off of Tuscaloosa. Boom!
No, I tell you. I like Ryan Williams, but Jalen Milroe in this ball game was huge. 27 of 33, 1 interception, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then rushing the football, 16 carries, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's who I've got to give the game ball to, He had a great night.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I'm not arguing. I love Milroe. This is the first week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know you love Milroe. We both do.
This is the first time all year I haven't given it to him, which is crazy. But, I mean, the Ryan Williams stuff was amazing. All right, defensive game ball. Defensive game ball. Jeez. These are tough.
God, that is tough.
Bunch of turnovers.
Yeah.
Deontay Lawson had 10 tackles, seven solos, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss. Damani Jackson with his first INT, 7 tackles, 4 solos. Malachi Moore, 7 tackles, 3 solos, 2 pass breakups. Zabian Brown with 6 tackles, 5 solos, and then the game-winning interception.
That's who I'd give it to right here.
Zabian Brown.
Yeah.
Freshman came in.
A freshman. And look, everybody had a great day. But the game-winning interception, I mean, I think you have to give him the game ball.
Yeah. Look, I'm with you, man. I'm giving mine to Damani Jackson. Guy's been doing it each and every week. When this secondary all left, and I put some of that on our old buddy T-Rob. Yeah, go. I'm gonna haul ass and try to take everybody with me in the entire secondary. It would have been nice to have Caleb Downs over there with Malachi Starks tonight when a true freshman that should be in high school was toasting your ass all night. T-Rob, the vertical move to Georgia, and I'm sure they're thinking that was money well spent. That defense is so not I'm not worried about the rematch. It'll be the same Georgia and the same Alabama.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you say that now. It's not like we're playing them in 2 games. Last time we played them in 2 games,
what worries
we lost
me
Mechie and we lost Williams, and we didn't have anybody to throw the ball to. We had a Jai Hall who had the 8A game, and he's catching the ball like this. Their defense does not stop us. They never have. Sorry.
I disagree. I like the win. I'm worried about a rematch. I'm worried about that because
Well,
I think
I'm not. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, don't worry about it. Nicholas,
in Mick we trust. I love you, my friend.
Yeah, put it on there, man. These guys, like, our offense is gonna be, it's just gonna get better and better and better. We're not gonna let them off the hook.
No. I agree with you. Look, what I said earlier in the show, that's what DeBoer said during College Game Day. I believe this team's going to get better and better every week. So the sky's the limit. I mean, really and truly. This guy knows how to coach football. He's a winner. We won tonight. We beat the number 2 team in the country, and the sky's the limit. Let's go.
Except
Roll Tide.
the bullshit is that we should have been number 2 and they should have been number 4. And Vegas having us as underdog at home was crap from the beginning. I mean,
I don't want to. I don't care for number 1.
What an easy money it was too. And then we're telling us with Kenny White was on, and he was like out in Vegas. He was like, I got Alabama as a 3-point favorite in this game, because he does his own power ratings. And he was damn right. And when he was saying that, I was like, I agree. He said, look, I got it as a pick 'em, but you give another 3.5 points for home field advantage.
No, he said 5 points.
Yeah, and he was right.
No, yeah, I know. I know that. I'm just saying that.
Nicholas, thank you for the super chat, man. Roll Tide right at you. Georgia's a great team, and that's what makes these
I don't want to be number 1. I don't want to be number 1.
Oh, I do.
I don't want that shit on us. The bullseye and everything else. I think it'll be perfect.
Adam says Carson Beck was terrible. You talking about the 3 INTs? You talking about the sacks he was taking? Well, we had those guys so backed up, man.
Of course he was. But look, here's the thing. I don't want to be number 2 or number 1. I don't want the bullseye on us. Let Texas have that for a little while longer. The key thing is, with this whole playoff thing, we got to win the conference.
I can't believe how many people agree with you. This is Alabama. We're the team that knows how to run.
No. We don't want that shit. We don't want that bullshit.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. No. We don't want that. We want to be hiding in the weeds. And let me tell you something. When we win that SEC and get that first round bye, Mick, you and I will go strutting and going. Okay? We'll go strutting and going. Okay?
All right, here we go. Adam's my man from Atlanta. Who worries me more, Tennessee or Texas? And this is a great question. Tennessee at Neyland Stadium worries me, because that's where we got to go. Now, if we played Tennessee in Atlanta for the SEC championship game, I'd be a lot more confident. I think home field advantage will be good for Tennessee. Their style is going to be something that's going to be tough for us as well. Texas has got great quarterback play. But they looked beatable today, man. They
looked beatable. And let me tell you something. Alabama, just what Nick said on this comment section. We are the standard.
That's right.
We are the standard. I don't care for number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4.
Right.
We're still the standard of college football. And look, I don't care for number 1. I hope we're not number 1 tomorrow. I think we're going to be number 2. All right. I think we'll skip up and go up to 2. And that's fine. But the main thing is,
you think that Georgia and Alabama will just split spots, probably.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, seriously. Yeah.
It's such a good game for them to lose, right?
I think it's a flip-flop. But let me tell you something. It doesn't matter until the end of the season. We've got to get through this brutal stretch of the SEC. And it's tough stretch. But, the top 4 teams are going to be your conference champions.
And Byron, I'm with you, man. The refs, the Tennessee refs bother me too, man. I'm going to catch shit from people for saying that. And look, Alabama's lost games. I wasn't saying that about when we lost the game to Georgia. We had some of our key players come out, but we lost that game. When we lost to LSU, it wasn't because of the refs. If we'd have lost today's game, it wasn't because of the refs. That Tennessee game was complete shit. It just was. It felt like they were throwing the game for money.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, I know.
No.
Yeah. But the thing is, and James disagrees. He thinks Ohio State may be number 2. And that may be right. I don't know.
So he's saying Texas, Ohio State, we go up 1 spot after we beat the number 2 team in the country.
They're coming off a bye week. I think we jump them.
Hold on, Adam. I know you've been very critical of Milroe. You got to give him his credit tonight, man. The guy was brilliant. The guy was brilliant tonight. You got to give him that.
Yeah, the guy. Look, I've said it on this post-game show before. I'll say it again. I don't know why people are so critical of Jalen Milroe. The guy makes plays.
They hate us because they ain't us, which is the
That's
Bama
right,
problem.
Rob. That's right, Rob. They hate us.
Adam's with me, man. The Kool-Aid, I watched that entire Tennessee game, and I'm watching, and when that Kool-Aid play happened, that's when I realized the fix is in. Sorry.
GW Justice.
He's right.
No.
He's exactly right.
No. And Mick, I'll tell you.
He's saying that Georgia's the worst shit talkers.
They are.
And he's right. Except
they
Tennessee.
are. And let me tell you. Georgia.
And Florida.
Georgia's the worst I've ever been. I've been to a couple of the championship games and everything. And Mick, you know that I took my dad to Indianapolis for that championship game. My dad was dying of cancer. And I sat him in a section. I bought a couple tickets. I sat him in a section with Georgia fans. And I told him, son of bitches. I said,
did you tell those sons of bitches?
Yeah, I did. I said, because I was sitting in the press box. I said, my dad is sick. Y'all look over him. They all agreed. I had the worst time. We almost fought ourselves getting out of there.
They finally beat us. That's the only time we've lost to them.
Yeah, I know. And I hated it because that was my dad's last ball game. But no, Georgia, they hold a special place in my heart. And I'm glad we beat them tonight. So but I told him, I said, you look after him, he's sick and everything, and they didn't do it. They got drunk and fell on him and everything else. But,
they were having a great time.
No, they were having a great time.
They were running it. They were running it.
I mean, that's the only time they could have celebrated. So who cares?
All right, maybe one more call, and then I've honestly I got to drive tomorrow, so I can't be up all night.
Oh, where are you driving to? Are you?
I've got it. I'm doing the that's the segment on the tailgate show with Kaneka Kevin and the gang.
My God, you better go to bed.
I mean, but I'm not. I mean, I'm good. If I can get my stuff set up here, I'm gonna. Adam wants to call in, so I guess I'll do another call or two. But
go ahead.
Might as well. I mean, come on. I mean, we don't beat Georgia every game. We just beat them every year.
I want to hear some phone calls. I want to have some phone calls. Can I talk to him?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We don't beat them every we don't beat them every game. We just beat them every year.
Yeah.
I just think that honestly, man, I know you don't agree with me. I think that if we play them, the same thing's going to happen to them again. And
No,
it's
I
going to
hope-
be another
no,
one
I
of those
hope-
games. And then you're going to be like,
I
we
know.
almost had them.
I hope so.
Aren't you a wrestling guy? It's like when Ric Flair was champ. Everybody always thought they were right there, ready to beat him. All right. You ready? I'm going to the phone lines. Bring them on in. Roll Tide, man. How you doing? Hold on. Let me get you plugged in. I don't have you plugged in. Hold on a second. I don't know where Brett just went. Had the wrong thing in. All right, say it again. I know.
For taking my call at
Yeah.
2:30, 6 a.m. in the morning.
Hey, look, this is, and I say this, Adam, and I love you, and I love all of our people. When we beat Georgia, which is an annual thing, I'll stay on here late. I'll do it for you guys. Roll Tide.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And Grace and I are going to get to Tuscaloosa for one of these games. Hope to meet you at Innisfree. You have a great show. So my thoughts on tonight's game are that, first, we completely dominated in the trenches against Georgia in the first half. And Milroe had a great game, and he deserves credit for that. I mean, I've criticized him. I think that he had the best game he's had since he's been at Alabama, and I'm happy for him.
A lot of growth.
I still do not think
a lot of growth. You got to give him that, Adam. A lot of growth from when he was where we were a year ago.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm happy to be proven wrong because I don't think I know it all, and I think that he has shown progress. I think that he made great throws tonight. I think he was poised, and he deserves to celebrate this victory. I still don't think he's an NFL quarterback, but you know what? I want Alabama to win a national championship, and I'm happy with him as our leader. My only concern is the second half and the defense. That concerned me because even though Beck was off, they seemed to be able to move the ball fairly consistently, and it worries me against a team like Tennessee and perhaps Texas. So my question for you is, do you think from what you saw tonight that we could get a victory over Tennessee and possibly compete for the national title?
Man, I mean, we're competing for the national title.
Can Adam hear me?
I don't know if he can hear you, but he can hear me, and we're competing for the national title. We've never not competed for the national title. We've been competing for the national title since 2008. Every year. No other team can say that. Then people were like, Mick, you're saying Georgia has a dynasty. Yeah, they do, but they don't have the grand dynasty. They just have a dynasty. Bama's got the grand dynasty. Kalen DeBoer didn't show up and take this job to come in second. He came in second last year. The guy's only lost like 12 games in his entire life. He came. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with DeBoer. He's going to win and he's going to get out. He's not going to be 20 years at Alabama like Nick Saban. He wants to win a championship or two, and he's going to leave and somebody else is going to come in. That's what I think. You guys listened to the interview he had.
Yeah.
When Brett asked him about Waffle House, and he's like, while I'm here. He's like, well, I need to try that while I'm here. You wouldn't say that if you were like in for the long haul. With that said, win me a championship and we'll buy the next guy Waffle House.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And, you know, to the people in the chat, I want to say this. Yes, I have criticized Milroe for months because I didn't think he was a great quarterback. But you know what? I have the honesty to say that he has progressed and did great tonight and deserves the credit for that.
That's right.
And I'm happy for him because he's a really great guy.
And I hope the best for him because he's such a good role model for young people, and he's worked so hard. And, hats off to Milroe. My only concern is the defense, particularly the secondary. And I hope that we get that shored up so that we can compete with Texas. And I do think we have a chance to win the national title. And if we get that, if our secondary improves, I think we'll be in a good position. So, listen, man, I appreciate you taking my call so late. Thanks so much.
Hey,
Always great talking to
Adam,
you.
can I say one thing? If Jalen Milroe wins us the
Yeah.
national championship, you and Grace name your next kid Jalen.
You know what? We will, and I will walk up to Jalen Milroe and I will tell him, I'm sorry for doubting you because, I have an open mind. And if he proves me wrong, I will tell him that.
There you go, man. Well, roll tide, brother.
Thanks,
you.
man.
All right.
Roll Tide.
All right, roll tide.
Bye.
All right, this better be Uncle Charlie. I got Uncle Charlie on here, Brett. I got to pull him up. Roll Tide, man. How you doing?
Well, it's not Uncle Charlie. It's Dickie.
Hey, what's up, man?
From Johnson City, New York, not Johnson City, Tennessee.
You don't have a song about your town.
No, we don't. But anyway,
good talking to you,
I
man.
just have to say, hey, good to see you, man. I love all you do. I tell you, you're at Innisfree watching the pregame tailgate show. It was one of the best. Coker was his smile on his face was so great. And all the guys that you had on there were great. And I love the Big Elmore, the Big Elmo. I call him the Elmore.
But he's here.
I think,
he's here with us.
I would, yeah, I know. I see him right there.
hey, Dickie, you were one of
Anyway,
the first. You and Noah were one of the first people that I knew that were like, "Hey, Milroe's the deal, man." Like before anybody was saying anything, man.
Yes, that was because Noah was in the facility working with people, and he worked with training the special teams. So, he was with Will Riker and Talty and, and the guy that just went up to Buffalo whenever and kicked the field goal to win a game. Anyway, but watching this game, all I could think of was Mr. Freeze from Batman just saying, wild, absolutely wild. That was my take on the game.
Yeah.
My analysis is nothing more than that. But anybody that says Milroe is not the dude, it's like, come on. He has proved himself. He can do whatever he needs to do whenever he needs to do it. Just look at that long ball, to Ryan Williams. And my take on Ryan Williams, he's like Bryce Young. If Bryce Young decided to just say, I don't want to be a QB anymore. I want to be a wide receiver. Look at his little pixie moves that he makes when he dodges, the defenders or picks up the ball. He's amazing. Okay. He's totally amazing. My other thing I want to say is Kalen DeBoer, the Boar, and the entire coaching staff, which we all wondered about, can they coach in the SEC?
Right.
Well, you know what? They can. They just beat Kirby fucking Smart. They beat his pants off tonight. They should have had 50.
I know.
Okay. If they put the pedal to the metal after that first half, did you ever see Nick Saban rack up 27 points on Georgia in the first half?
No. I'm with you, man.
They
wish they would have came out with.
They had
embarrassing.
They had a game plan. They figured out a game plan in their test tube of game plans, and it worked. And they did something. Kirby, they made adjustments, and I think they became maybe too conservative, in the second half with, making Milroe run too many times. Like, give the ball to the running back, to Justin Haynes. Let the running backs bust through all the time, and then let Milroe take off once in a while.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought in that third quarter that when it was time for Milroe to hand the ball to some other people. And you're right. And the running backs would have been a great choice as far as who could have toted the rock.
And I like Milroe taking the rock on these run pass option things. Go to not to the boundary, go to the other side, because he can cut that where it's wide. He can just turn that corner where there's plenty of room.
Right.
If you go to the boundary, then you're cut off because it's just choked off. And anyway, that's all I have to say.
No, look, man, I'm with you.
I think after this is so historic. This win, it's historic. They just beat Kirby.
Yeah.
So Kirby has a Alabama problem. He doesn't have a Nick Saban problem and a Miss Terry problem. He has an Alabama problem. You know, and so I don't care too much going to Neyland Stadium. They can go there and win. They can beat LSU.
I agree.
They can beat Texas.
When could
I think
beat any of these teams? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
The coaching.
It's the commentators. It's the Feinbaums that want to end the dynasty.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is
tell you,
these guys all have brand new rings from last year's championship. It might not have been a national championship.
Yes.
It was an SEC championship. They've not stopped winning championships.
Yep.
That's it.
I mean, how can you bitch about Jalen Milroe? He's got an SEC championship ring from last year.
Yeah. Well, he needs.
He was
natty.
undefeated SEC championship quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the weird shit happened with the last play and all the snaps and everything. How were the snaps tonight?
Yeah, great. Brailsford's been great.
Yeah. How was the O line tonight?
Pretty
Great.
Good. It was good. It was good.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We are in a new level. We're in a new level, and we're at the lowest level that we're at right now.
That's right.
Like Coker would say, it's going to take another game. It's going to take game 6, game 7, game 8 to know what we really have.
I think we know who we have.
And for where we are right now, we're freaking good right now for where we are. For what this win was, and we should have won by another 14 points.
You're right. We should have whooped their ass even worse, but we didn't.
Yeah, we should have whooped their ass. That right before the half, that pass interference call that wasn't called, that was ridiculous.
I know some of that stuff, man.
And that was a game. That was it's slow. It screwed up the entire momentum.
Yeah.
You know, for that drive, and we would have had a score or 3 or whatever. So anyway.
Well, thank you, man.
I'm just impressed, and I'm feeling great. So, and I love what you do, the Big Elmore. Everything is what you're doing with your shows. I can't stop watching it. I watch it all the time.
Thank you.
But I've never called in because I really have nothing to say, because I have no analysis other than, my sarcastic, text that I put on your shows, and I laugh about everything, and
Well, roll Tide, man. Tell Noah we
Roll
said hi.
Tide.
And, let's do it again next week after Bama plays Vandy.
Yes, exactly.
All right, roll Tide,
Okay,
Dickie.
brother.
Great to talk to you, brother.
Roll Tide, man. All right, see you, MR.
All right, one more. This better be Uncle Charlie. Uncle Charles, is this you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, roll Tide, man. We got you on, didn't we?
Man, I got in just in time. Thanks God for that. Man, let me tell you something. This game, I had to go in there and get my blood pressure thing, man. I told my son, I can't look at this no more. This is not a game anymore. This is a horror picture. And I just on edge. I just can't think.
Well, we made it. You know what, though? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know where you went. You better call me back. It's
man. I want to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, how can we get this where I can talk to him? Because the last caller was great.
He said that it was a horror movie.
It was a horror movie. I look, this guy I can relate to. I was looking at the comments, and folk folks are still on Milrose ass for some reason. I don't understand it. But and then they're kind of on me a little bit about where was I at from the beginning of the show? I wasn't invited.
Well, it's a long show. I mean,
It's a long show.
It's a long show.
3 hours.
3 hours and 20 minutes right now.
Mick.
Where you at, Uncle Charles? Man, I opened the phone lines for you, and then you came on. And then we lost you. There, he's back.
Uncle Charles would have been a great one.
All right, here we go. Here he's
back.
back.
Can I talk to him?
I don't think he can hear you. Uncle Charles, you back?
Yeah, man. Sorry about that, guys. Been having a problem with this phone, but let me say they can get on that because this ain't a phone. This is the exorcist because they keep cutting off on me. Let me just say this: I want Coach DeBoer to know this. This is not the Big 10. This is not the Big 12. This ain't the Sun Belt. This ain't the Sunbeam. Let me explain something to you. No lead in the SEC is safe. Not one. You have to understand that. When they close off them edges, see, you got to understand, Coach Smart is a smart coach. When he went in that locker room, he made adjustments, what we call adjustments, ladies and gentlemen. Once he cut off them edges, and Milrose couldn't run around them edges, then we started to go between the tackles. And once they slowed that down, because we were getting runs, but we weren't getting big runs. I said, now, once they get a field goal here, a touchdown there, and you will look up and they will be almost them pastors or they right on our tail. And what happened? They called up and they took the lead. And I'm going to tell you why. You cannot come out in the second half and be conservative. You can't do it. The first scrimmage from play, what I would have did, I would have took number 2 and sent him down the field and throw a ball. You're going to back up off me. I'm going to make sure you do. You have to make adjustments in the SEC. This is the chess. This ain't checkers. Let me explain something to y'all. Let me show you why you can't do it. They got over in India, they got elephants, a lot of elephants. Well, you got a mother elephant. She was taking her babies across the street. Now, she wasn't bothering nobody, just trying to get her babies across the street. Well, down the street, some fool there was throwing rocks at her. And she didn't say anything. She didn't say nothing. And then until she got her babies across the street, and she beeline right for him. And she knocked him up in the air about 100 feet. He fall, hit the ground. He talking all crazy. When my mother-in-law coming into town, you ain't even married. How you ain't got no mother-in-law? See, you can't poke the bear. You can't poke Kirby Smart. He's a smart coach, a good coach. He was up under Nick Saban for so many years. You just can't play with him like that. Now, we was blessed tonight to win this game. Roll Tide, thank you, Jesus. Because I wasn't coming out that bathroom until my son said, Daddy, just come on out the bathroom. We're going to win the game. I said, I ain't coming up out of here until we take the lead. And all of a sudden, I heard him in there screaming. I couldn't go in that bathroom because I couldn't take it no more. My blood pressure was going to go on 150. I couldn't take it no more. So Alabama, like I said, I love Crimson Tide. I've been loving my team since I was 7 years old. Roll Tide. See, you thought the era was over. You thought we was done. You thought we was going to go back off into the shadows and go away. But guess what? There's a new man in town. He need a little bit of adjustment. He's going to learn on the fly, and we're going to still be Roll Tide. And I appreciate y'all.
Hey, Uncle Charles, man, Roll Tide at you. That was.
There's a new sheriff in town. Uncle Charles told us. Bang, bang. It's like Clint Eastwood's in town now. Look, Uncle Charles is, man, Uncle Charles, please. Let's meet up and have a beer one day.
That was amazing.
Come on.
That was amazing. And you guys have all been amazing tonight. You guys have all,
it's been a good night.
It's almost 2. I thought tonight was monumental.
I know you're getting tired, Mick.
The bottom line is this, is that we saw what can happen when you unleash the power of this offense. And defenses aren't made to be on the field that long anymore.
Right.
You know, so you gotta protect them. This team won the game and they learned something from it.
No,
this is a national championship team. And I don't know why people aren't saying that. It is. This is a national championship team. I don't care what Paul Feinbaum says. I don't care what they say in Vegas. I'm telling you right now, they've got everything they need to win it all. They just got to do it.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. After tonight, we talked about, the game beforehand. I'm losing my voice for some reason, but no, we talked about it beforehand. I was worried about the game, but this was a big win for the program, and I love it. Roll Tide, everybody, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Guys, thank you for hanging. Thank you. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for being here. If you're watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, make sure that you're a part of Cover Crimson. We're teamed up with them too, and we want to make sure that you're a part of that. And covercrimson.com. Clint Lamb, our buddy there, Jake Coker, Mike Johnson. You got Chris, you got Stacy Blackwood, all these guys that are contributing every day, and we appreciate it. Big Sexy Elmo and me on the Bama Tailgate. We'll be in Nashville Friday from 1 to 4.
I can't wait, Mick.
At
are
Live Oak.
you nervous?
No, at Live Oak in Music City. It's going to be a great show. You guys come and hang out with us and be there. I don't know where we're going to be yet when we're back in Tuscaloosa yet. So maybe back at Innisfree. I want to do another show at Galette's. I want to do a show at Houndstooth. Maybe the Standard. There's some other places I just want to check out. Maybe.
Well, yeah. Well, what I got to do right
We're going to go back to Unique one more time.
What I got to do right now is watch the Netflix. I got to catch up on my Vince McMahon a Netflix special because it's really good. If you're into wrestling, it's really good.
All right.
That's
Thank
it.
you guys. And from
Roll
the bottom
Tide.
of my heart, roll motherfucking Tide.